All right, what's going on, guys? We got it's me, Optical 20, with Will Foxification here.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
All righty.
First
Well,
time on the channel.
first time, but you've probably seen us if you visited like PJ's stream.
Right.
We've been talking about this stream for maybe like 3 weeks now and all that stuff. But here it is. It's finally
Yeah.
happened, guys.
We've been talking about it optical a lot, and we finally got it done. So I'm super excited to be here because this is gonna be a lot of fun. That's all I can say.
A lot
It's gonna
of
be some serious but fun topics, and it's gonna be great. Per
Yes.
usual.
So for those who doesn't know, guys, so I put Will's link in here. You got to check him out. He does amazing movie reviews, but he's also a big time collector.
Yeah.
He does media. He does statues, 1/6 scale as well, hot toys and all that stuff. So you got to check out his channel. So, but yeah, Will, let's start it off, man. I know we
Let's
got
do
a
it,
lot
man.
to cover here. So I know you recently reviewed this figure. I mean, not figure, but this statue.
You could call it a figure. Yeah, it's close enough.
I'm on the I'm really tempted to get this one because not this particular one, but a Joker, because there's really not one in 1/6. And
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're gonna have one like licenses at least.
Yeah, because that Toys R Us one is, like I said in my review, like I had that Toys R Us one. Like I liked it for like a day, and then I got it looking at it more. I'm like, this isn't very good. So like, it's just. But man, if you're gonna get a Joker and you love this film, let me just tell you, like, I lit that review the best I could. Basically, I didn't have my soft boxes yet, so I had to light them with I don't know if this is too tech for probably like a general audience, but I had like the bar and doors on there, and I lit it the best I could with what I had. So like the sculpt looked pretty good in the review, but I can tell you in person it does look better. So moving forward, my reviews will definitely have better lighting because I'm all set up now. I'm good to go. I got the equipment I need. But like I had a little bit of some harsh lighting on Joker and just full transparency. So like some people said the sculpt didn't look as good as the prototype. I'd say it's like just dude, like a hair worse than the prototype. The picture you're showing, like that's incredible, but that's always how it goes. I mean, like almost always, like the proto is just a little bit sharper. You go from proto to mass production, like you're gonna lose a little bit of detail typically.
Yeah, but I saw your review, man. I mean, is this the? I mean, we've seen that there's gonna be some Jokers coming out, like Bust and all that stuff.
Yeah, Queen Studios and Iron Studios is doing a quarter scale statue as well. So, or it's third scale actually. Sorry. So I'm pretty sure it's one or the other, but like they're doing it. Theirs looks good too, but this one to me is the ultimate version. Like this is, I think they absolutely nailed. Like I have him actually in this closet to my right hand side here, and I've literally gone and walked in there the last like 2 or 3 days. I had him like several times just to look at him. Like I have him next to Bane, the Prime One Bane. He looks great. So I'm super happy with him. I think they absolutely nailed it.
Dude. So let me ask you, man, because I know you're crazy about Jokers. Is this the only
Clearly.
one, or you're gonna get one more?
No, for this Joaquin version, this is gonna be the only one. This is gonna be the only one for me. Like I do feel like the Iron Studios is great. The Queen Studios is awesome because have you seen that one? He's sitting in the like behind the scenes, you know, basically like he's sitting getting ready to go on Murray Franklin's show. And it's got like a mirror behind him. It looks really, really cool. It's got rooted hair too. This has sculpted. But but this, I mean, I don't feel like I need two. I feel like I need more than one Heath Ledger Joker, but I don't feel like I need more than right. That we definitely know, but I don't feel like I need more than one of this Joker. But this, guys, this is the one. If you want a Joaquin, this is it.
Yeah. And speaking of we're talking about like statues here. This is the bad influence of all bad.
He is the bad influence, man. Like he is. There's no badder influence than PJ.
My life was pretty sad. I was collecting 1/6. This guy was just bugging me about Mandalorian. Now I'm into Star Wars. I was perfectly happy not to collect Star Wars because that is a dangerous path that I just took.
Man.
And yeah, this guy right here, you got to blame him. Especially speaking of Paradox nerds, man, you guys got to watch this live stream tomorrow night. I think he's gonna be with you too, Will, right?
Yep. I'll be there with him. Yep. But PJ, in all seriousness, he's a great guy, and he loves Star Wars, and he definitely loves Mando. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm down the path of collecting like everything right now. So I'm not a dangerous path myself, so I can relate. But PJ, yeah, he's always a bad influence because he's like, Will, have you seen this? He'll post stuff all the time. And I'm like, man, if I never saw that, I never would spend $1,200. But now you're gonna make me. So. I just like to blame him for things that I do.
You guys are horrible. And I even asked Will, I think that was like last Wednesday, because I was really thinking about getting that Queen Studios Joker, not the rooted one, because it's like the double the price, I think.
It is. But like, so did you see optical? Like, And some people actually pointed out in some of my videos I did about it, like there's a reason, not just the rooted hair too, that's a big part of it, but there's an artist named Viper who's specifically working on those 300. So you're basically getting proto quality for those 300. They're being specifically done all by him. So that's something that, and you get like a certificate and stuff of authenticity, and all the hair is rooted obviously. And like, so it's that, it's just the rooted hair and that. So you're paying a little bit more premium costs for that. And there's only 300 being made of the artist edition. So like it's super, it's like sold out everywhere pretty much right now already. So luckily I got it on pre-order. So I'm super excited. But the sculpted one is an amazing value.
Yeah, for like 400 something, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, like, I mean, it's crazy because let's say DX20 comes out and it is a Joker. Let's just assume it's a Joker. How much is it going to be for? Let's say 350 maybe, or 320. Let's say 320, right?
Hard to say with the accessories. You never know. So
you never know, because if it's 320, it's only $100 more than a statue, and that's
right.
a quarter scale, or
yeah, it's quarter scale. Yeah, quarter scale. Yep. Because they did a third scale, like one in the police station. I have that, and PJ actually convinced me to get that one too. So like I got that one and I love it, but the quarter scale one is the new one. It's really cool. So honestly, I think it might be like maybe 500 to 600 after shipping and stuff, but like it's really good. Even the sculpted hair one looks incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to get it, man.
If you're a displayer, and I know you guys do collect this, like you said before, bigger is better. So if on a display piece, if we're talking about purely display, nothing can beat a statue, especially if the sculpt is somewhat closer, if not better, than Hot Toys. We're talking about specifically this Heath Ledger one.
Right.
So
I think it is better, man. I think it is better. So like and you're right. I think we had this conversation maybe on PJ's channel. Like I'm kind of a little bit moving more towards statues, but I still have a lot of Hot Toys and a lot on pre-order. But like, because there's so many characters that are just never going to be made into a statue that do have a Hot Toy that I do want. So like Gamora, like I mentioned, like I really wanted her, but she's not going to have a statue made of her. So not in that scale. So, and they take up way more space and they're more expensive. So you kind of got to mix and match, I feel like.
Right. Like I think the statue, for me at least, is reserved for characters that you absolutely love, not because of mainly because of the price.
Yeah,
you can literally buy 3 Hot Toys on I know, outside of this Joker, like with one statue. So and plus the space that it occupies. So you got to reserve a massive space. So you got to be in love with this character, I feel like.
Yeah, you do. I mean, yeah, because this is like, $1,200-$1,300 statue. So I mean, like you're getting like 4, maybe 5 Hot Toys for that. So I mean, it's not to be taken lightly, that's for sure. This is a big investment for sure, and it's one that, like you said, you have to love the character. Like you're exactly right though. I don't get a statue of just like I honestly I wouldn't get a statue of Gamora, but I'm just saying like I do want the character in some form, but I wouldn't pay $1,200 for a Gamora, for example. But I would for a Loki, or a Joker. So, or Pennywise, which I did. So, and now no one will come over my house ever again. So
especially at night.
Because it's 1/2 scale, man. Have you seen that one? It's like Prime 1. It's huge. It's huge.
It's creepy.
It's really good.
With like a blood on his face.
I do have that one too. You can swap that head on there. I have that head displayed separately on a bust, so I do have that one, and you could put it on the statue. I haven't yet, so I don't want to scare people that bad, Optical. I don't want to scare them away that bad.
But
yeah,
but I was like, I'm having second thoughts of pre-ordering that. I mean, I did pre-order that the Pennywise on Hot Toys.
Oh, dude, I'm getting that too.
And normally when I do a stream, I'm by myself, and if that's staring at me in my soul at like 12 midnight,
I might get 2, man, because I really like that figure. Like I really want that figure a lot. When they announced that, I was like, I never in a million years thought Hot Toys would do a Pennywise. Like I remember wishing for it. Like I used to tell people all the time, like one character you would really want, I was like Pennywise, but they'll never do it. And they did it at they announced it at like a Comic-Con, and I was like, wait a second. I was like, no, that's fake. And it was real. Yeah, so I was just shocked. And they put up for pre-order, which I was worried they wouldn't. So
right. Sometimes they show, like the teaser.
I would have been devastated. I would have been devastated. And that's probably the weirdest thing to say about a Pennywise figure, but I love Pennywise, and like if Hot Toys had like teased me like that, I would have been like, damn it. I would have been so upset.
I'm not gonna lie though, I don't mind Pennywise compared to the nun, whatever her name is.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You seen the Prime 1 nun?
Yeah, as a display, like if I can walk past Pennywise, I'll be like,
right,
damn, you're creepy. Nun, I wouldn't even walk past by it because I did the Star Ace, the Nun.
Oh, okay.
The Defo Real series.
Mm-hmm.
Reluctantly, so they sent it to me because I was supposed to review Pulp Fiction that time, and they were like, "Yeah, we're putting 2 nuns in there." I was like, "I never asked for it," and I was like,
"Yeah, you'll like it though." Yeah,
like,
you'll like it.
And they were like, yeah, "The ice lights up at night," and I was just perfect. Yeah, just what I asked for.
Just
and
put that thing back in the box.
I did.
Did you?
It's in the garage right now.
Could you imagine a 1/2 scale version? Because that's what Prime 1 made. So, dude, it looks really good though.
I know. I wouldn't get it for free though, just for my own sanity. Not to say bad quality, but
man, I couldn't do it. Pennywise didn't really creep me out though. Like I really love that performance. So we'll probably talk about this tonight and why we get collectibles and why we do what we do. But like, I will say I got that one just because I really love that performance. So like, I'd love the character. So
right, yeah. I mean, I don't like scary movies, but that movie, I didn't mind. I didn't mind. I don't like those ghosts kind of thingies.
Yeah.
But this one is more of like a monster / characters of some sort. So
right.
It's not bad at all.
It's not that scary,
dude. But give me 1 second, Will. Let's adjust the chat. We got Lane here, Toy Mafia. Thank you guys for watching. J-Rod, what's up? J-Rod is a Cowboys fan.
Is that with Emmitt Smith? That's a pretty cool picture.
Dude.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I forgot who's the Houston fan in here because I would feel sorry for them because everything on Houston right now is messed up.
Deshaun Watson is not happy.
He's not happy.
He's going somewhere.
What's his name? John Wall, I think, is injured or something.
Oh yeah, they just traded Harden, but he wanted to go anyway. It's probably better.
Yeah, Negan is here as well. What's up, Negan? Composer David Michael Tardy. Man, that's Big Toys Easter egg. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. David Michael Tardy. Buzz is in the house. Danny, what's up, Danny? Comics. All righty. Oh, we got more here. Okay. Oh, King Ding-a-ling, my fellow Chicagoan.
That's an amazing username, by the way, and the avatar is perfect. So,
it is beautiful.
Yeah. It's a work of art.
I know he's from Manila. Dennis, it's like 9:17 in there in the morning. Thank you for watching. Dave, I was just talking to Dave earlier. Oh, Watson wants to go to the Jets.
Interesting.
I'm surprised that anyone wants to go to the Jets.
Right. Yeah. Who did they just hire as a coach? I know they got rid of Gase. Did they hire someone already?
I don't think so. I mean,
I didn't think so either.
From top to bottom, the organization is a mess, right? I don't.
Oh, Robert Saleh. That's who it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The like Niners D coordinator. Yeah.
Anything in here? So, do they even have a player? Oh, right. I know Sam Darnold or something, right? They're QB, but
yeah, but he's probably going to be gone, I would think.
Yeah.
So they're going to be drafting someone second overall. Probably what's his name, Justin Fields. So
they can trade him for Trubisky or Maserati Mitch.
He's got to go.
What's up, KJ and Marco? Andres is in the house as well. Oh, are you liking WandaVision a bit more? Man, you guys got to watch. I'm telling you, guys got to go to his channel. He got some good takes on WandaVision. And we'll see. We mostly have the same taste, I would say.
Yeah.
Because that's why I kept on watching your stuff because I was just like, man, these are good takes. So
because you're like, I agree with all of this.
Yeah. That's why I told you I want to hear your thoughts about BBS, and you got to do it one of these days.
Okay, gotcha. I should probably review that. Yeah. It's funny that I never did. When did the movie come out? I forget what year. 2017? 17
or 16, something.
Because I started in 2016. I think my first review was like Civil War. So
nice.
So it was a while, like 2016 or something.
Right. I think it came out like hand to hand with Civil War. Like
okay, yeah. I probably just like at the same time and just didn't review it, but I probably should.
And that's a horrible movie to go up against too. Like Civil War is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it's really good. So
and then you go with that. Yes, which I don't hate the movie. I actually liked it.
What, BVS?
BVS, yeah.
It's okay. It's like if you want my quick thoughts on it, like it's okay. Like I feel like it's not what I would want out of a BVS film. Like it's like serviceable, but I don't feel like it's the worst movie I've ever seen. But I don't really feel the urge like I need to watch it again. You know what I mean?
Right. Like if we exclude the Nolan trilogy, if we exclude the Nolan trilogy, it's kind of up there. But then again, we're not saying much when it comes. It's probably like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and then maybe BVS.
I really liked Aquaman. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot Shazam. Shazam is pretty high.
Shazam is probably my favorite DCEU film. Yeah. Like if you count Joker, that's really close. Like Joker and Shazam are like hand in hand, but I loved Shazam. I thought it was great.
If we talk about like MCU, if we rate it, it's easy. But DCEU, it's kind of like, all right, is Joker in the mix? Probably not. You know,
right?
The trilogies, so they have like their own category and what.
Right. It's a lot harder. And then the new Batman film, where do you put that when it comes out? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, it's just not cohesive, and I mean, I really don't mind as long as the movie's great. But
right.
The thing is, you know,
like Joker was really good, so I was happy with that. So I mean, clearly I bought a Prime 1 statue of him, so liked it enough to do that.
But dude, I know you like sports.
Yeah.
Do you follow Enter Bay at all?
I do some. Like I mostly follow it through you, to be honest. So like you'll post about it and do reviews, and I'll watch those. I saw the LeBron. Like I definitely saw LeBron because that became like kind of like almost like pop culture news. You know what I mean? Right. So kind of like when Sideshow dropped the Grogu Baby Yoda. Yeah. Like that was like everywhere. And the LeBron thing I was seeing on a lot of sites and stuff. And I was like, oh crap, that looks really good actually. I didn't end up getting it, but I almost did because I don't have any Enter Bay figures. But this one looks really good. Like one thing that always bothers me though, optical, is the seams on the elbows. Right. Like it always but there's no other way to do it unless you do seamless arms. Is there any reason Enter Bay doesn't do seamless arms?
I think longevity, because seamless, you know, they tend to crack, especially if you're in, let's say, Asia. It's humid country and all that stuff.
Right.
It's not really good for you. Even hot toys like the Wonder Woman, all of a sudden they like a crack.
Yeah, they'll crack.
Yeah. And I get it from that standpoint. And honestly, even with my Bane from The Dark Knight, I'd rather pose it, especially with basketball players, to have them be posed dynamically than, you know, they would look bad on like a museum pose just standing there.
Yeah, they kind of have to be in a dynamic, like dribbling or shooting pose. Yeah.
Right. But this guy right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. It comes with a sweat technology. So you can see
that looks really good though.
Yeah, he's sweating, you know, pretty intense on his head.
That's pretty cool. How many Shaq is this? Like how many Shaqs have they done? Do you know?
So far, this is the second one. So I do have the first Shaq where it's the 2-pack where he comes in the Magic jersey and the Lakers jersey.
Oh, okay.
So here's the problem with this figure. I mean, it looks good, but it's $300.
Well, how big is it?
It's 14 inches. It's a little bigger than a typical Hot Toys.
Right. Because 6 scale and Shaq's pretty big. So
yeah, I mean, it's like what, 7'2" in real life or something.
Yeah.
So, but I thought LeBron was overpriced, you know, for $300. He comes with four championship trophies, one warm up. You know, the base is always the base, you know, it is what it is. But it comes with just hands and $300. So
yeah, LeBron came with a lot, like multiple outfits. Like, yeah, like he came with, like you said, the 4 trophies. Like he looked like he came with a lot. Shaq, that seems a little overpriced for what LeBron costs with the precedent of LeBron.
Exactly. And for a, you know, a guy that's been retired, you know, like it, and I know he's bigger, but LeBron is covered in tats as well. So now we've got to factor in the details that came into that. In here, Shaq looks like he got tattoo in here, just a little bit here. Yeah, I mean, for $300, you must love Shaq really that much.
I do like their stands. I like their bases a lot. Enter Bay, they do really cool bases. I feel like that looks really good.
The biggest problem I have with the base, at least from the previous releases, is this is kind of like not sticker, but a cardboard box. And over time they warp, so they kind of like move up.
Oh, that's weird. That's kind of annoying.
A few of those that are just like, why is this happening? You know?
Yeah, because I've never seen that with a Hot Toys figure.
Yeah.
I've never seen that happen.
It's pretty bad, but you know,
it looks cool. At least when you get it, at least it looks cool at the start. Over time, it might warp, but it looks good when you unbox it.
And the problem too with Enter Bay that I feel like, I mean, you know, we talk about like putting him in dynamic poses, and it's basketball. Yeah, and you got this head sculpt, which is like just serious. You know, you want to put some, and it's Enter Bay. It's not like Hot Toys where you got guns and, you know, outfits that are intricate and all that stuff. I mean, you got a jersey. All you got to do is change the print of it, you know, and then you got a different theme. I mean, you got to at least put a second head sculpt in there, like a dynamic one, screaming one. I don't know.
Yeah, something else for $300. I mean, that's a lot of money right there. Like you said, you can get a DX Joker, hopefully, for around that much. Like, and you know, like the new Dark Knight Batman that they're releasing DX, that's like what, $270, and that comes with a decent amount of stuff. So I mean, it's a different collectible altogether, but you get the idea. So I mean, it's if you're comparing prices of 1/6 figures, man, for me, like I'd rather not have the longevity and have seamless arms. Like I get, but you're right. Like with seamless arms, like a rubber arm, you definitely can't put them in a dynamic pose because if you do, that is gonna crack. Like it's like with Thanos, for example, right? They give you the one like plastic arm, right, to put him in the pose that way. Because if you bent that arm and left it that way for a long time, that thing would be destroyed in not a long period of time.
It would pose like that forever.
Right, it would, and then the bottom of his arm would be literally ripped to shreds. So
stop and all that stuff. So
right, so like I get it, I get both. Maybe if they give you swappable arms, like I saw that they released a like not Enter Bay, but I saw like an unlicensed Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, and I think it was Game Toys, and they put out like they give you swappable arms. Like he has seamless arms you can pop in, and then he has like jointed arms that you can pop in if you want. So like that's really cool.
Dude, like Thor. And they did
that. Thor had that, right?
Infinity Thor, like so. That's pretty cool, right there.
I think that would make the $300 a little more digestible.
Right. Especially if you're not getting any accessories,
Right. I guess I got to do the tattoos on both, so it's more time and energy. But for $300, you kind of need that.
Yeah, I don't see the. I mean, where's your 300 coming from? Like the head sculpt, because they did the Shaq 2-pack back in the day. By saying back in the day, I'm talking about maybe 2017, and that was $250 and 2 Shaqs with 2 different outfits and 2 different heads.
And the sculpt looks good, but it's not like I don't think it's like incredible. I think it's good. You know who it is, but like I don't think it's like I look at it and I'm like, damn, that's Shaq. Like you know what I mean? Like that's like some of the other hot toy sculpts we've seen, like maybe like Dooku or something, or Commander Cody, like you just reviewed.
Plus, all of a sudden, these guys, whenever they have their jersey, you know who they are. I mean, you got Lakers 23. It's LeBron right away. So that works in their favor too, because
it's very identifiable.
Yeah,
and Shaq's so huge. You're like, yeah, that's probably Shaq. It's a giant Laker. It's like it's Shaq.
Dude, but here it is, man.
How
here you're getting
the talk of the day.
Yep,
the Dark Trooper. So, are you getting this optical?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going down that path. I like Star Wars now, but
not that much. Wait till you get really into Star Wars though, and then you'll be like start getting stuff like this. So PJ and I talked about this. Like he is one with, we talked about he loves Mando, right? He absolutely loves Mando. So he's definitely getting this day one. This for me is not like a day one pre-order. I still haven't pre-ordered this yet. So I feel like this is one I probably will pick up down the line. Maybe when it becomes like readily available from Sideshow, like shipping now. I don't feel like this is one that I'll pre-order because I really want to see how it turns out. Because I've seen like some like pictures from Secret Base and things like that. And like it looks like, I don't know, it all depends on the lighting. It looks a little bit cheap in certain shots, and other shots it looks amazing. And I feel like if you don't have the lights lit up in the eyes, it might not always look so great. But it's hard to say. Like until I have it in hand, I don't know. And I think it looks good. I mean, it's one that I would definitely consider getting, and I think I probably will. But for $260, I'm going to be a little bit patient with this one because I don't think this is going to like sell out immediately,
Right. You know what? You have a good point. When the lights are off, you know what? It reminds me of Ultron from
Ultron. Oh my God. I've always wanted an Ultron so bad, but I can't do it.
Terrific figure when it's lit up. When it's not, it looks cheap.
It looks bad. It looks bad. Like he has like just black holes for eyes. Like it just, like I've seen that, man. Like I've always wanted to get that Ultron because it's not that expensive. And like it came down in price pretty well. And then like I just see it when it's not lit up, and I'm like, man, that looks terrible when it's not lit up.
Right.
I don't know why they did that. They got to remake him or something.
Like especially this guy, which he's just all black. Do you think we're gonna see this again though? Like
the Dark Trooper?
Yeah. After the annihilation that they received,
right? Maybe if it were like really popular, maybe like Shore Trooper kind of.
Right. Like if you're the boss of the Imperial or whatever, they're going to be like, man, do we continue producing this thing? Because they just got destroyed.
Right. Well, they kicked some ass until Luke showed up. And Luke showed up
and we got to make this, because who was that guy who gave Mando all the Beskar? They probably would be like, all right, let's make this guy Beskar then.
Oh, yeah.
Because then they say like it's easier to get Beskar nowadays or something.
I don't know, not really, because the client, I think they call him the client. He's like the guy who trades, he trades Grogu for the Beskar, and then Mando takes that and turns it into some armor, and then Mando goes back on the deal and takes Grogu back anyway. So
Because he said something along the lines. It was like, oh, it's easier to find somebody this now than somebody who's going to do the job or something like that.
Right. That might be true because that job was probably so difficult. It was probably hard to find someone who's willing to do it. But yeah, like for sure, I think. Yeah, but Beskar is definitely not easy to find. I mean, it pops up here and there when the writing is convenient for it to pop up. But otherwise, like the Beskar spear, like that popped up, and that was kind of like for the purpose of he needs to fight Moff Gideon somehow, and he's got to do it hand to hand. So he needs this. So
we need some a weapon here. So.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's super rare still, and I'm amazed that a lightsaber can't cut through it. That's pretty cool. So,
dude, so we got this in this Mando season 2, and I think it's written all over it that it's coming out. Do you think it's going to have the head sculpt, or Hot Toys is going to hold off to it again?
I think they're going to hold off on it again. Yeah, I do. Do you think so? You think you're going to get it?
Because I feel like if it doesn't have a head sculpt, right? Like, so it only comes with a spear, and I mean, to a regular viewer, the season 2 Mando and towards the end of season 1, the difference is so minute that like if you have the season 1 deluxe, so it's like, I mean, you're just gonna get this for a spear,
That's a really good point, actually. That's really good, and I feel like now I think you sway me. I think they would do it because like there's no other reason to get this figure other than the flight suit is brown now compared to what it was before. I think it was like gray or something in the first season. Right. So like that's the only difference, and the spear. That would be it. Yeah. Maybe he'll come with a speeder bike, and that'll be like a deluxe, like Darth Maul or something with the Sith speeder. But yeah, I think they would put a head sculpt in there, and then maybe put the spear, and then the flight suit's a little bit different color. Maybe add like a different Grogu or something, or
maybe not even include Grogu at all. Because
maybe not.
They include Grogu. There's no reason now for somebody like me who's holding off to getting that Mando Deluxe because I'm looking for a head sculpt version. If I get the head sculpt and Grogu, I mean, I'm not even looking back. I'm not even going to think of picking up season 1 Deluxe.
That's true. It's a good business move.
They're going to hold off on Grogu, and they'll be like, oh, you want Grogu and the head sculpt? Yeah, buy all of them.
Yeah, right. Buy both of them. Yeah, you want both of them? Then do that. Because honestly, I'm getting the season 1 Mando Beskar Deluxe, and he comes with 2 Grogus, like one that fits in the pod, the one that you can stand. So I'm going to put the one that stands, I believe, with the pre-Beskar, like OG look, and then put the pod with the Beskar look, and then you have 2 Grogus, and you can display them that way, and it's really cool. So that's what I'm going to do.
Hot Toys is known for this, especially if it's not completed yet, like Mando, it's ongoing. You got to hold off on something for you to buy, individual, products, maybe just to complete the set. But I mean, if you have the 1 Deluxe, and let's say this doesn't come with a head sculpt and only comes with a spear, would you get this? Like, no. If you're getting the Deluxe version, season 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I can't even remember, honestly. Does the season 1 version come with the jetpack? I think it does.
It does.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that wouldn't be even a differentiation either. So like, no, I would not get this. Not unless, even if it came with a head sculpt, I don't think I would get this because like, I honestly have the deluxe version on pre-order, and like you said, the changes are so minute, and like the first one comes with Grogu, which is like really important to me. So I don't. Even if this came with a Beskar Spirit head sculpt, I wouldn't feel like I need this one too.
Yeah. Because even me, I like the Mando. Like I felt like the first Mando. I'm like super satisfied with it.
Yeah.
The non-Beskar version.
Oh, you have that one?
Yeah, and I was like, dude, it still looks like Mando, and
it's incredible.
Urge to get the deluxe version as of yet, because I'm waiting for the announcement of this, and if this doesn't come with a head sculpt, I'll snag the deluxe version.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see, man. Because like the pre-Beskar look that you're talking about, that's my favorite look of Mando, and that's one figure. You've probably had it too. Like you'll unbox a figure that's really good, that's just a step above the rest, and you'll be like, "Holy shit!" Like you'll unbox it, and you'll be like, you'll look at it, and like that's one figure I did that with. I have 2 of them because like I liked it that much. So like it's one of my favorite figures that I have.
Of that Beskar, is that the one that you just bought here? Is that the pre-Beskar? Isn't that the one that you kind of like order at Toys Wonderland and just?
No, that happened way before, man. That one was like way before. So yeah, like I don't know how you guys feel about Toys Wonderland, but myself, like I just had one bad experience with them. So like my bad experience was a matter of like I ordered the figure and then it wasn't always entirely their fault. DHL was also at fault here, but like the figure like didn't get delivered for a long time. It had like been sitting in purgatory basically, and then. Like 2 weeks later, DHL, like I had called them a million times. Toys Wonderland, I tried contacting them and open a request. And like DHL was like, hey, it's been delivered. It was delivered 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, and then I just got the text like 2 weeks after they said it was supposedly delivered, but I never got a text that day when it was supposedly delivered. And like, I never signed for anything. I did the shipment authorization where they could deliver without a signature. And I will never do that again because they royally screwed me. And DHL was horrible to work with. Now I will not use DHL shipping. I refuse. And actually, Prime One just shipped me my Joker DHL, and I had to hold my breath that I got it. And I did, luckily. But yeah, with Toys Wonderland, like he kind of tried a little bit to help me out with it, but ultimately, like, he didn't do anything for me, and I had proof basically that it really wasn't delivered. It was clear as day that it wasn't, and I lost $300 on that. So, like, I lost $300 on a first batch pre-Beskar Mando, and never got that back, and never got the figure. So I basically just got screwed. But I don't think Toys Wonderland is like a terrible company or anything, but I do feel like I kind of got screwed on that one. So like, and you know, and I feel like I had proof. I had screenshots showing how ridiculous that looked that they marked it delivered. I'm like, there's no chance. Like it literally went from Cincinnati to delivered 2 weeks later, and they said it was delivered and it never was. Like, it's ridiculous. So they tried a little bit, but then they were basically like, sorry, you're out of luck. And it says it was delivered. And I'm like, all right, whatever. They're basically, I will never buy from Toys Wonderland again myself, but to each their own.
Yeah, I mean, guys, just be careful, especially like you know, like we always knock Sideshow for, and we talked about it. We always knock Sideshow that hey, they're overpriced. They're doing this Sideshow tax, but those are insurance basically. Look at what happened to Will. I mean, and Toys Wonderland, don't get me wrong, they're having some bad reputation here and there, customer service, but you got to understand they're not a big company as well. They're not Sideshow. Right. And to do this, I'm pretty sure it's hard, but at the same time, you know, if something got lost, it got lost. It's your responsibility as, you know, like the sender to take action for it. Maybe if you filed an insurance, the customer shouldn't be left out with no figure and no money in hand. I mean, that happened to me recently with The Godfather with 6 corner, and I got my money back, you know, and I mean, not as expensive, but they still lost the money because they said, you know, but it is what it is. Sometimes on a business, you'll take a loss and things like this happen. So you got to be prepared for it. You can't just say, my bad. And
it was clearly like, it was clear as day in my eyes that like, clearly I'd never got it. And DHL was just saying they couldn't find it and they just marked it as delivered because they couldn't find it. And I kept calling them and they were probably annoyed with me because like they weren't doing anything. Like I couldn't find it. But yeah, like absolutely. Like honestly, I've bought honestly from independent retailers too. Comic Concepts is actually a shop I've had really good experiences with. Like I had one issue with my Darth Vader where the saber, like the little activation box came broken, and like Josh went and got me a new one. He's shipping it to me already. So like he's really great. But independent retailers, like it takes a little bit more time. Some of them are a little bit hesitant to help you out from here and there. Sideshow, honestly, like it's more expensive, so I don't always love buying from them. But the customer service, they have always hooked me up. Like if I had an issue, a paint defect or something, they're like, hey, Will, like destroy it. We'll send you a new one. You know what I mean? And like they've hooked me up, man. Like, so you are paying for that security. So I'm a little bit hesitant to buy from Hong Kong dealers again. Although Tim Sen, I've had pretty good experiences overall. So, but yeah, like generally if I can buy from Sideshow or buy from, you know, Comic Concepts, then I will do that. So
yeah, definitely. By the way, guys, I'm just a quick one here. JB Collection, subscribe to her channel. She got really awesome stuff. She got she got a box of Hot Toys for $500, right, JB?
What?
From a woman that's getting divorced. I was watching her video earlier, and I told her, I was like, dude, you got it. I mean, I think it's 10 Hot Toys for $500.
Were the good ones though?
JB, you got to give us the contents. I know there's at least one of them is concept art Iron Man. I mean, that by itself is like what, $300.
The 46, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's worth it already then. As long as they're not like all first order stormtroopers, then you're good. Yeah. Which I like those figures, but for $500, like 10 of them, that's $50 a figure. It's still pretty good. But
right. I mean, honestly, I appreciate the super chat. By the way, JB, but you got to make a video because I mean that's $50 of Hot Toys, and I don't care what's inside, even if it's stormtroopers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's $50. It's $50.
Right. And optical, like it was funny on that same vein today. I don't know if you saw in one of the groups on Facebook, I saw a guy posted, he went to Goodwill today and found a Hot Toys Deadpool for $20.
Jesus.
I know, man. I was like, there's no way. He said he couldn't even believe it was real. Like he looked it over and everything looked great. I'm like, what? I was like, how does that, on what planet does that happen? Like, and it happened. So supposedly at least, but yeah, $20 for Hot Toys Deadpool at Good. Who drops a Deadpool off at Goodwill? Hot Toys.
And JB says, apparently this woman is getting divorced. So now I went to Craigslist looking for divorced women, and then my wife saw me and she looked at me differently.
Now you know you're in trouble.
I was just like, I'm just looking for Hot Toys, I'm
right.
like,
just looking for Hot Toys. Just trust me on this one.
And I was like, I typed it in, divorced women, and but another one here, appreciated Lane for the super chat. Okay, want to know, I'm getting Midas Iron Man. What would you and Will think between Rescue and Iron Patriot to get as a companion piece to it? What do you think, Will?
Damn, the Midas Iron Man is really cool. Honestly, I really like it. I think isn't it the Mark 7 just gold essentially?
Gold, yeah.
Yeah, and the Mark 7 is my favorite armor, so of Iron Man. So I love the Midas. What would I get between Rescue or Iron Patriot? Man, that's tough. Man, if I had to choose one, I'd probably go Iron Patriot because the Rescue is really cool, but Rescue has like a minute of screen time, and Iron Patriot has that over a couple films, I think. So like I would go with Iron Patriot, and also Iron Patriot's huge. It's really big, and it looks really cool. So if you had to go with one, I'd go with Iron Patriot, but it's not like I feel like super strongly about it. I think they both look great.
Right, like with Patriot, especially if you have what's that? The what's his name? The Rocket.
Rocket. You can put him on the back. Yeah,
it looks cool.
Can you do that? I think you can.
We're wrong because Rescues might be a one and done, but we don't know. We got this Armor Wars going on. So
Armor Wars.
Is it Armor Wars or whatever?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, whatever.
But Rescue is one I've really been conflicted on myself. Like I remember when it first was announced, I was like, I'm gonna get that, and then I haven't pre-ordered it, and now I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna get that. So like, but we'll see when it comes out. But I do really like the suit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, me too. Like, especially like I don't know. Like, I feel like
$400
the Endgame, but it's $430. I made a commitment back then. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get as much as I could for Endgame because I feel like it's really hard to replicate what Marvel did, and we'll talk about that when we get to this. Like the movies and such.
Right.
But so we'll just get through this real quick. And this last one here, I mean,
that's the one.
Do you have this at all, Will?
Have what?
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I have the Endor Deluxe Luke. So I don't know if you've seen that one, but essentially it's just the Return of the Jedi look, and you can put him in multiple different poses. The base is like sort of, I think it's like Endor base, so it has like plants and stuff in it. Right. It looks really, really good. So if this one came out, I'm not sure I would feel compelled to get both of them, but it's possible I could sell that one and then get this one instead because I really do like the cloak look of Luke, and that one doesn't come with a cloak, but it'd probably be the same exact head sculpt, to be honest. So it's kind of like, and the outfit's like pretty much the same for the most part. So, but this is a tease right here, and it's honestly, I feel like it's just like the Shore Trooper we saw in one of the other figures. I think the Death Trooper or something else. We got a tease, and then it finally came out. I think it's just a matter of time before this is up for pre-order.
And imagine this would be the third time because initially they came out with the Luke Skywalker as well, right? Like, but no Endor look. He doesn't the outfit.
Just the Return of the Jedi one, regular, yeah.
And now this one, they can label us as Mando. Maybe the belt is different, the belt buckle is different. I don't know.
Right, something, but yeah, the cloak.
Yeah, the cloak. But I look for a cloak because I do have that figure.
Okay.
And I was just, I wanted the cloak. So I looked on eBay, and they're pretty cheap. You can get one for like $17, whatever.
Yeah, aren't they custom ones?
They're custom ones, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, obviously we don't know how good it would look when you get it in hand. But I was just like, I mean, the head sculpt of that, the only complaint I have is he's looking slightly to the right or left.
I have that one, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm not a big fan of, but I mean, like you said, if the head sculpt is going to be the same, I mean.
Right. But I do think this figure would sell super well. Like, I think even a lot of people like us who have this Luke already or similar Luke, I think they would get it still.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how collectors are, especially like when the Mando sold out, the non-Beskar version.
Yeah.
I see In Search of Mando non-Beskar, and then they put in the price, right? Some are paying $280, $300. I was like, literally, it was $240 a week ago.
Yeah.
You don't have $240 now, but you got $300 now.
It's crazy how that works. It's like it's just a matter of like us humans we're interesting, man. We're complex, and we're also simple at the same time because like it's like, hey, when you want something you can't have, you're like you want it more, and then you're willing to pay more. So that's why I bought two because
crazy. You know what? Honestly, I just need one Mando in my life, but that looks amazing. That Mando right there. So if somebody, I feel like if we hold on to it for a little longer, that would command like $400-500 in the
I
future.
think so too, man, because they're not making that one again. Like maybe you could reissue down the line like they could anything, but like I feel like, you know what I mean? The Beskar ones, like there's slight variations in the Beskar, you need all three, but that OG Mando look is so distinct and so different from the other ones. Like I think that's going to be a super hot figure.
Yeah, I think so too.
And it's the first look. Like it's the premier Mando look. So I think a lot of people prefer Beskar, but you know,
even though it lasted for like an episode and a
like
half.
2 episodes, yeah.
So
I love that look though, man. It just looks so rugged. It looks Western and gritty. Like I love that. I wish honestly they kept that armor longer because I think it's perfect. Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of the silver chrome thing.
right. They're gonna paint it eventually. Sell more toys.
Do, but this one, I got a notification from Sideshow. I thought this guy would be delayed.
Yeah, didn't they say Q3?
Yeah, I got the notification and they shipped it to me, and I was just like, dude, I wasn't expecting this.
So you have this one on pre-order then?
I had it on pre-order, and then you know the entire head sculpt thing happened, and now they're sending it. I hope there's some sort of a program where I can switch the head in the future. You know, I would love to see what they have. I know in Japan they're doing it. You know, like you send the head sculpt when it's ready, and you know you got to fill out a form and all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure I bought it at Sideshow, so
yeah, they'll hook you up. So they're sending you the bad head then?
They're sending me the bad head. So
okay.
I thought it was never going to make it to the US. You know, I thought they were going to delay it. Now we're going to make it to the US and, you know, like open the boxes, swap out the head. But I guess they're willing to just do that program, I suppose.
I'm also pretty surprised by that. I just thought the Hot Toys was like not going to distribute it to North America at all until they had the new sculpt. That was my impression of what they said.
Me too. That's what I thought when I read the letter. It's going to be delayed. So, but apparently it has a big effect on the market because this guy is going for under retail too in Hong Kong. I don't know if you've heard the reports. It's originally $423. You can have this for $360 now at Hong Kong.
And it's so weird.
Literally just came out.
I honestly thought it would be more because that head sculpt is going to be out of circulation soon. So even though it's bad, I think people are going to want it still.
It's crazy. So this guy in Spider-Man, apparently Spider-Man is, you said like with Tim Sent, the deluxe version is $200.
Yeah.
Deluxe, apparently somebody got it for $135. I mean, I get it for this suit because it's just black. It's kind of boring, especially without the dynamic base. I mean, you're getting a black suit Spider-Man, but is this even something you're gonna get, Will? If it's like $200, do you even thinking about it?
I thought about it because you bring up a great point. Because I saw people in the groups posting about how cheap it was and how you could get it. It's like a $320 figure at Sideshow, and like you can get it from these Hong Kong sellers for like $200 shipped. So like some people got it even less. Like the non-deluxe version, you can get like $160. Like the deluxe version's like maybe $200, $215 or something. Yeah. And even then, I still am not getting this because even then it's such a good value. But even then, like I don't. This figure never appealed to me. You know what I mean? It's like it's barely in the film. It has no personality to me, really. You know what I mean? It's like it's not a figure I feel like I need in my MCU collection myself.
Right. It's probably like one and done. You know,
it's such a one-off. You know what I mean? It's like
we're never going to see this again. You know,
I love the upgraded suit though. I have that on pre-order. So,
me too.
And that's in there like that. And I actually thought about canceling that at one point, but then I looked at the pictures again and I was like, nah, I'm keeping it.
I think they like revised the head, or maybe that's on the quarter scale. Like the revised head sculpt and
because that's him back there. So I mean, he's ready to be shipping soon. So and IG-11, man, I'm super excited for that one. I have that on pre-order.
And out of the releases, man, which one did you pre-order here, or are you getting at least?
Of which?
On these pictures right here.
So I got Cap on pre-order, I got IG-11, and I got upgraded suit, and I don't have the other ones. I don't have. See, I'm getting Battle Damage Mark 85. I'm not getting regular Mark 85 as of now. I might change my mind at some point, but the Battle Damage one is the one I truly want. But I have seen videos of the 85, just standard version, and it's like really tempting me. But I have too many Iron Man as is, man. I have like the 7, I have the 50, I got the 5 on pre-order now. I'm gonna have the 85 Battle Damage. Like I don't need like a million Iron Mans.
Stormtroopers, man. You know it's just a stormtrooper. They're just like a trooper, but
with personality.
Yeah,
that's it.
Keep on. Yeah. Are you getting this Cap at all?
Yeah, definitely. Cap is. I feel like he is. If you're an MCU fan, he's a must-have. Like this is the Cap. As long as the sculpt isn't terrible, which I don't think it will be. But this is like I have Civil War Cap, and I love it. And I'm probably gonna keep. And I have Infinity War Cap too. I like that figure more than most because I like that look. But this is, I think, going to be the Cap that's sought after when it's all said and done.
Me too. I heard he signed like another film or so. I don't know if it's an actual film. I mean, it's hard to go back to
Right.
you just left on. I mean, unless you're gonna time travel again, which is stop doing that thing.
Who knows what they're gonna do? But I saw that too. But then he denied it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, Chris Evans came out and he was like, "Nah, it's not true." And I'm like, I don't know. But everyone was reporting it. So
Yeah.
maybe they're just trying to keep it hush hush right now.
I know you're a big fan of movies. Obviously, there's
Mhm.
that. Your channel revolves around that. As a film of fans, as a fan film, or something,
Listen.
would that ruin it Endgame for you if they do pull something like that where
No, I don't think so. Like, and it's funny, like, we'll have to talk about Endgame some more because, like, I really like Endgame, but to me, like, it definitely pales in comparison to Infinity War. I feel like Infinity War in myself is a perfect film. I feel like it's my favorite movie ever. So, like, not just MCU. Like, I remember I watched Infinity War and that was the best theater experience I've ever had. Like, I had a packed theater opening night and people were losing their shit. Like, and that happened too in Endgame also. But
Mhm.
like Endgame is very much a slow burn. Like it's a lot, kind of like we're probably gonna talk about with WandaVision. Like it's very slow. The first hour, hour and a half, it's like kind of like very slow, taking its time, and like
Mm.
that. I didn't like that as much because I feel like they almost needed 2 movies to get done what they did, and like I feel like they like an hour and a half of it they moved super slow and they took their time. Then they have to rush everything near the end,
Right.
So they get the stones so fast, like with so little ease. It's
Mhm.
like there's no real conflict hardly there other than Black Widow dying. But like other than that, it's kind of like, okay, we got Stone 1, we got Stone 2, we got Stone 3, and they have to call like one audible to go to Hank Pym's or to Shield to get the other stone because Loki gets
Mhm.
away. But other than that, they're like, yeah, we got it. We're
Right.
back. You know what I mean? So like I feel like that could have been way more
See,
difficult. But
that's why everyone needs to go to your channel, because that I feel the exact same way. Like I loved Infinity War.
right.
Outside of the fact that I know those guys that melted is gonna come back. That's the only like bad
Melted.
because I was just like, I know you guys are shooting Spider-Man too. So
Right. I know that's in production.
yeah, I was like, you guys are releasing these teasers and all of that, so I'm not buying this.
Right.
But outside of that, like you said, I think the pacing is amazing.
Right.
With that being said, though, like the last 35 minutes of Endgame, not the last 35, but the 35-minute, like
Right.
sequence there would top anything that I've seen ever.
Right.
Um,
I agree with that.
yeah, but like you said, as a film, I think as a standalone film, Infinity War is better.
I think so too. And you know what also I think is because so what's interesting, yeah, the Endgame battle is like more like larger in scale, and it's also like more impressive in terms of just the CGI they pulled off with so much going on at once.
Right.
But for me, like I like the personality of the Wakanda battle a little bit more, even though not everyone is there at that time. Because and I also like the Titan battle a lot. That's really cool because I feel like just the background had more personality. Endgame, it's kind of like some rubble and darkness, and it's kind of like not really much going on. Wakanda, you got big open fields, a lot of bright light, like, and you can see everything. It looks really cool. And Titan is just, it looks awesome. Like, there's so much wreckage, and there's like the moon that Thanos pulls down, and like it's just everything is orange and bright and vibrant. And like for me, I think the biggest thing that I just did not expect that I didn't like that they did. I feel like Thanos in Endgame is so different than he is in Infinity War. Like he feels like a different person altogether. Like I feel like and I get there's like a 5-year gap. So like maybe he matures or differs over that time. But like in Infinity War, you can kind of like empathize with him a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you understand he's like, yeah, my planet got destroyed. I feel like I don't have a choice in that I'm doing this. Like I'm doing this because I saw what can happen if I don't do this. And like he's way more like empathetic. You understand like he's wrong in what he's doing, but you understand why he believes that. But then like an Endgame, it's kind of like, I'm going to murder everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's like a typical like bad guy. Like there's nothing, and he's hardly in the film that much. And I just hated that they killed him that quickly. And then like, then you have this other Thanos that just is not nearly as compelling or dynamic. You know what I mean? That's the problem. So
yeah, and I think that's the beauty of a bad guy, like an effective one at least.
right.
If you can kind of at least understand, you might not agree with, kind of like with Joker from Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Longer, in this Thanos, at least from Infinity War.
Right.
But you just get like a madman that's, I just want to destroy the world. And
Right.
like, dude,
Like Ultron was very one note. You know what I mean? Like he
right.
was, like Ultron could have been a lot better than he was, but like he was like, that's why I love Loki, man, because Loki is compelling and like layered and dynamic, and I love that about him.
And he's gonna have his own show, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm super excited for it.
Nice.
So yeah, and I love the Avengers Loki figure that I have, and I'm so glad they're reissuing it because of the updated head sculpt. I have that figure. That was my favorite figure for a long period of time. It still might be like, and I'm definitely getting the new one too. So it's.
You have the old Loki?
I do. Yeah, I had to find it. Like I think I had to pay like $300 at the time, and that was a pretty good price at the time. Now he's like dropped down because of the reissue, but he got up there pretty high in price for a while.
So how do you feel about, because I bet you that's one of the people's like grail back then, because it's really hard to find.
It's one of mine still. Yeah.
So once it was announced, were you kind of pissed or were you excited?
I was excited. I was thrilled. Yeah, I was thrilled. See, I'm not really like that. You know what I mean? Where I feel like, oh my god, my grail is getting reissued. Like I liked it because I'm like, oh, an update, because it's like almost a remake, because it's like an updated head sculpt. The tailoring looks better. Like it's a little more slimming. The older one's a little bit bulky. So. Right. Like, and I think the head sculpt looks better. Like, I think everything paint application looks a little bit more detailed. So yeah, like I'm really excited. That's another figure I might get 2 of, because like, and I have 3 of Avengers Loki. So, because I'm not getting rid of the original. So I just love that look. That Avengers Loki look is like my favorite. He's one of my favorite characters ever. So
he's one of the, you know, like because they have a lot of bad guys, especially with Iron Man, you know, the sequels. But I mean, the Iron Man movies, but none of them really stuck. Kind of like Flash and whatever his name.
What's his name? Guy Pearce's character.
Killian.
Yeah.
And you got the Mandarin.
Yeah.
But kind of just, you know,
Iron Man 3 is a mess. I feel bad though, because like if Marvel was kind of still finding their groove at that point, you know what I mean? Like if Marvel had kind of found their groove and their like formula by then, I think the 2 Iron Man films, 2 and 3, would have been way better. So, because 1's great.
Do you feel like, well, you're a huge movie guy. Do you feel like every not every Marvel, but I'm a huge movie guy myself, but I kind of tend to side more. Who's that? The brothers that directed the
Russo Bros.
The Russo brothers. I felt like every movie that they did was pretty good. Then outside of that, you know, we got Ragnarok, which is pretty good.
Right.
But the other ones, like the entire Iron Man, with the exception of 1, 2, and 3, I feel like they're watchable. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're okay, but they're not Winter Soldier.
No, Winter Soldier's another level.
Yeah, they're not Civil War. So those, if you think about it, the Russo brothers kind of, you know, they're like the Jon Favreau of the Marvel.
Yeah, and that's why I think Kevin Feige entrusted them with the Endgame and Infinity War, because he knew they were the best directors they had.
Yeah, because imagine, like, honestly, if there's no plan, I think, for the 10-year plan for Marvel, the Doctor Strange, it's interesting, but if it's not connected, I don't think people are going to watch it as much as they did.
Right. I think the universe does wonders for those films. I really like Doctor Strange. I think it's really good, but you're right. It's not Winter Soldier, but a lot of people do think it's on a close level to that. You know what I mean? So like,
people are going to want to see like what because he's not a character that you would associate Marvel right away. I mean, we all know who Doctor Strange is, but to a casual person, or let's say Captain Marvel, they're going to be like, oh, cool, I just want to watch Captain America. But since there's a bigger picture, so people are like, oh, I want to see what her part is going to be, you know.
Right, exactly. And that's kind of why they released those films a lot of times like right before an Avengers film. I don't think they did that with Doctor Strange, but they did that with Captain Marvel, right? I think they released it like right before
Infinity
Endgame.
War, I think. Is it Endgame?
Was it Infinity War or Endgame? I can't remember.
Maybe
they released Black Panther right before Infinity War, I think.
Right.
Yeah. But people would have seen that anyway, because Black Panther was super cool in Civil War. So like he was like one of my favorite characters in that film. And the film was great, obviously. So but yeah, but Avengers 1 was great, and Joss Whedon did that one. That was like, I think, the film that put Marvel on the map. Like Iron Man 1 was great and got a lot of people's attention, but Avengers 1 is like the film that made the MCU. Like in my opinion.
Anything like that, you know, like we did Batman, which is really great. I mean, The Dark Knight. I mean,
right.
But nothing in terms of a slow burn, which leads actually to something.
Right. A shared universe. We hadn't really seen it on that level, and they've done that well. So, and DC's tried, and they just haven't really done it that well.
And but I think with DC, man, Shazam, which I think is a good movie, suffered from that because I think it looks good, but I don't think it got the recognition it deserved.
It didn't do as well at the box office as I thought it would.
Exactly, yeah. Because if he was like a plan of a big universe, I feel like he's gonna, you know, put in money, kind of like Captain Marvel, for example.
Right. But, yeah, and like I really love the film though. So
yeah,
I thought it was really great. So I liked it maybe a little bit more than most. It got really good reviews though.
It does. It is pretty fun. But like I said, he's one of those characters where you kind of like on first glance you're gonna be like, yeah, it's not
Right.
Superman or Batman, just
Right. He's not on that level, yeah, but I think he's funny and he's interesting. So that's, you know, that's
and
something. But
I
yeah,
watch
he's not as recognizable as them.
I love Chuck, so I watch Zachary. Is it
Oh,
Levi?
okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, Zachary Levi. Yeah, he's so
Levi.
good in that role, man, in the Shazam role. So
Yeah.
I almost got the Prime One Shazam, to be honest, because they had a winter sale and they were giving like 3 times reward points for purchases. I think they still have it in stock. It was, but you can. You're to your point exactly, Optical. Like I don't think it was a high pre-order item. I think they only made like not many of those. Like might even been less than 100. Like because it's such an expensive statue, and Shazam is like kind of he's not a Batman or Superman character,
Right.
like that. He's not that level of popularity. So,
Dude,
it was good.
I see the posters on your back here. I see like I
Yeah.
know you're a huge film fan. So when did you start? When did you start? Like, tell us something about your journey, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
reviews
So
and all that stuff.
yeah, I started in 2016, I think. I'm pretty sure my first review was Civil War. So you guys might have to check if you go through my older videos. I think my first video on YouTube was actually like a lightsaber review. I reviewed like a saber forged lightsaber. And then I was like, I really go see a lot of movies. So I was like, I should probably review movies. And at that point, not then, but did you ever have Movie Pass?
I heard that is where you kind of like Netflix. You can go anytime, right? Like,
Yeah, it lasted for a while. It like really changed the game because then Regal and AMC came out with their subscriptions in America.
mhm.
And those have been going on, I think, in the UK for a little bit of time. But like now they're in America, well, when COVID's not going on. And Movie Pass kind of pushed them to do that. And like I was paying like $40 a month and I could see unlimited movies. And it was really cool. And then Movie Pass kind of lost it. And they put so many restrictions on. And like they started charging surcharges. It was just an absolute mess. So. And then, but yeah. So other than that, yeah. But I started in 2016. I love film. I just thought I should probably talk about these because I see them all. It's kind of like with the figures and the Prime One and whatever else I get. I'm like, I'm buying these anyway. I
Yeah.
might as well review them.
Now,
So
do you have any film background or anything like that?
no, I mean, I worked in the news for a little while, but it was like less than a year because I hated it. So like, because like I worked at 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. 11 like more like 11 a.m. to 12 noon every day shift. So I worked 3 a.m. every morning, and it was hell. So I learned some good skills like how to edit and some cinematography stuff here and there. But I was already kind of into photography stuff anyway, and but I studied communications. I studied media effects. So like I did study film in that sense. And I took like a screenwriting class and some stuff like that. But I don't have a degree in film, I just did communications and I studied that stuff, but that's about as deep as it goes.
Do you think that kind of piqued your interest though? Or did that help, like getting into this? Because you're you're technical, man. Like, the cinematography, the color palette that they use and all that stuff.
I try to get technical. I think so. I think that's factored into it. I don't think I I don't have, maybe the knowledge of like some people who've gone to film school for 6 or 7 years or something. You know what I mean? Like I just come at it. I really come at the reviews, honestly, more as like a general audience viewer. I try to get technical with it for sure, but I don't get overly technical with it based on what I do know, because that's not really what people want to hear. You know what I mean? They're not like gonna I can mention the lighting in passing, but it's not really like, oh, I'm gonna talk about the lighting for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like that's like more a film buff crowd. Like if you're looking for people who want to know whether to go see the movie or not, you're just kind of like, oh, the lighting's really cool and it adds a lot of character and suspense to the film, and that's about as far as I would go. So, but
nice. Yeah. But I mean, you seem really knowledgeable about these things. So movies, I know you consume that media a lot. I know you do video games as well, because I know I've seen your videos and we agreed. The Last of Us.
Man. We've talked about The Last of Us 2. So
remember, Last of Us 2, not a terrible game. So guys, if you play that Last of Us 2 and not trashing it, I still think it's a good game.
This is going to be a hot topic right here.
Yeah, it's just not Last of Us 1.
No, man, for me, it's not a good game. So like, I'm going to go bold on that one because, and I'll die on this hill if I have to, but like, I don't feel like it's the worst game I've ever played or anything, but like, and I think so, man, you got me started on this because I could go on for this for like 2 hours, but basically I feel like with The Last of Us 2, if we're going on that, if it was just a game and it had never been like a Last of Us sequel and it was just The Last of Us, the first one, I don't think it would be like the worst thing I ever experienced. I don't think I would have loved it, but I think it would have been like, that was okay. Like that was like, it was okay. But the problem is the context is following up The Last of Us and like how beautiful that narrative and game was
Right.
with a revenge plot that's like makes no sense. And like he has all these contrivances and coincidences and things like that. And like, we're going to go into spoilers on this. So if you haven't played Last of Us 2, I'm sorry, but I'm really about to spoil this for you. Just the fact that like literally The Last of Us is Joel and Ellie. Like that is the franchise. Like, so to kill Joel like that without even further developing that complex relationship, it destroys the whole narrative. Like it makes no sense. Like Joel can die. Everyone expected Joel to die, but like in a way that makes sense and that's satisfying in storytelling. You know what I mean? For him to,
from a player standpoint, they should have killed Joel in Last of Us 3 if they already planned on killing him, and make us
or the end of 2.
For Last of Us 2, let us control Abby, let us love her. She's with Ellie, they're going on a mission, and all of a sudden she met Joel. I was like, God, you're the one who killed my father. Kind of.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, then now we have some attachment to Abby because now right off the bat we hate Abby. Even
she is the worst character of all time.
even if she has reasoning for it, right? Like there's a point where they're trying to make us understand why we're doing what we're doing, but we just can't get over it now.
They tried.
But I feel like they did those Last of Us 2 where it's a story about Abby and how, like now we fall in love with her for one full game. Now on 3, now they make the story on 3.
Right.
I think this would be a lot more easier to swallow than what we just did now.
Right. I think so too. And the problem is like, man, so like there's so much, but like basically Joel, like I think the argument is that kind of like in The Dark Knight Rises, like when you see Batman after a passage of time, like he's not the same at first. Like he's kind of like walking with a cane, like he's not the same, right? So the argument is like Joel has been living in this town with Tommy for 5 years now, and he's gotten comfortable. So he's not on his like survival A game. Like, but that like everything he does to die is so against his character, what's been established in the first game. Like he is the most like aware of his surroundings, smart guy in this apocalypse. I mean, like he would never walk into a room unarmed with strangers with the door closed. Like there's no way, man. Like he is the most, like when they meet Henry and Sam in the first game, like Ellie's telling him their names and Joel's like, stop. Like he's like, he doesn't trust anybody. Like, and like
Abby, you'll be suspicious right away.
No, man. He just, and for one, like why would we ever empathize with this character when like she just killed our beloved character after he saved her? Like he literally saved her life, and then she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna torture you now. Like it's like she should, man. Abby is just the worst. She shows literally zero remorse in the entire game. This is like a rant now, but she shows like zero remorse the entire game, or zero. There's nothing about her that's empathetic, like at all.
And,
like
and when I was playing the game, I wanted to love the game because I love it so much. So now I'm reasoning to myself, and I know some of the watchers here, you do that to a movie that you love,
right?
Kind of, or a game that you wanted to love. Kind of like I was like, all right, maybe Joel put his guard down. It's been 5 years. It's like Pacquiao doesn't have the same. Because Manny Pacquiao was poor. He was fighting the street. He doesn't fight like that anymore. He's a bit tame now. But make no mistake about it. You pick a fight on him, he'll kick your ass.
Right.
So I mean, he still has that. You can take the lion out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle. The jungle out of the lion or something like that. But,
and also, man, I think it's just there was so much false advertising. Like I mean, like the game. Joel's not in a ton of the trailers, but like I know at one point, like, if I'm remembering correctly, on the PlayStation website, it advertised the game before it was coming out, like go on another adventure with Joel and Ellie. Like, and that's what everyone expected out of this game. Like, and it's just not, it's such a far, and I get they wanted to be different, but really, like I said, this game is The Last Jedi. Like it is like half the people love it and think it's a masterpiece. Half the people hate its existence. Like, and it's like, that's how it is. So, and I don't think that was Naughty Dog's goal. I think their goal was to make something they're proud of, and that's great. But like the first one was like unanimously loved. Like, I don't think their goal, if Bruce Straley, the original director of the first game, had still been there, would have been to create such a divisive game. Like, I think it would have been like, let's create another game that not is safe, but like another game that gives people what The Last of Us is. Joel and Ellie. You know what I mean? I
feel like the first one was perfect timing. It was 2013, height of The Walking Dead. That was the zombie apocalypse and all that stuff. And now we transition. Walking Dead is pretty much. Are they done? Are they Walking Dead?
I think they're finishing up their last season. Yeah, I haven't watched it though.
I haven't watched. I think I stopped watching when Negan came in because it's kind of like a wash, rinse, repeat kind of thing.
Right.
We got a bad guy, we're good. I know it's up for us to pay Glenn and whatnot. So they're
Right.
kind of like the New England Patriots. When you start becoming a Pro Bowl and you start making money, we trade you.
Right.
And we're gonna introduce new characters, but I think people kind of fell in love, and it's kind of like, okay, the governor and now Negan. It's kind of like we got this powerful guy. We're down on our knees, but we're gonna get back up. I was like, okay.
Right.
Did that just exactly 2 seasons ago, man.
Right.
Give us something new.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like what happened. And unfortunately for 3-0, they're still pumping out this Walking Dead characters.
They are Morgan.
And it looks 3-0 is getting better and better, I think, in their head sculpt. But I mean,
they're protos at least, but then the final product remains to be seen.
Yeah. But they have like a dead license right now. So I don't know.
And with Game of Thrones, that's kind of the case too. Because I love Jaime Lannister. And they're going to release a Jaime Lannister, and it looks really good, but I will not pre-order it because I will wait until see the final product and then see what happens. Because their Jon Snow Season 8 figure looks really good, but except the head sculpt. Like, you take the head sculpt off and you put the Nuts Piz head sculpt on there, and it looks like an amazing figure. I have that one. I have two. I have the Knights Watts version, and I have the Season 8 version of Jon Snow, and I have the Nuts Piz head sculpt on both of them, and it makes the figure so much better. Like, yeah,
I mean, the outfit looks good, but the most important thing that we're buying is
the head sculpt, right? So, but
yeah.
Anyway, Last of Us 2 it's I get, but man, like, I have a tattoo with Ellie's tattoo from Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, I don't like the game at all, but I love Ellie. Like, I don't feel like even their attempts to assassinate her character, like, I do feel like I still love the character and I love that design, and I know Neil Druckmann had talked about that design was like a symbol of her relationship with Joel. So like, that's why I got it. So,
so
not because of the game.
So for I know you're a big collector too. Does this affect your collecting strategy, or are you, because man, I love the movie. I'm gonna, like, PJ's in love with Star Wars, so he's gonna get a single Star Wars out there. Does it affect you? Let's say a bad movie but a good figure, you'll get it, or vice versa, a good figure and a bad movie, would you get some? How does it affect you and how you collect?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I would love to hear how you do this, because so I collect, I feel like, because I have an emotional connection to that character, but there are some times like where they make a figure that like was in a bad movie, for example, that I really, really like. So I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but a perfect example would be Venom. Like, I love Venom as a character, but I did not like the movie. So like, I love Tom Hardy, but I didn't like the movie. So, but I liked Venom in it, but I don't like the movie very much, but I do like the figure a lot that Hot Toys is making. So I'm probably going to end up getting it because I really like Venom. So that's one, for example. A lot of people don't like Rise of Skywalker. I really liked Rise of Skywalker a lot. So like, I will get those figures because I like those characters. But generally, I don't get things that I don't have a positive emotional connection to.
Let's say, what is an example of figure, for example, that you, a perfect example for me was Cody. I have no connection for Cody. I've never seen Clone Wars. I've seen Revenge. Is it no? What's that? The last where he appeared, episode 3.
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I've seen it. He's in there for what, like a good,
like 5 minutes. No, he's in there probably more than that, but yeah.
But the figure is so good
that's why I'm so torn on that one. And your review is kind of swaying me a little bit. Like so here's a question too, a follow up to yours. Like, I feel like that's the type of figure that's going to go crazy in value when it sells out because people love it. And I do think this is a one-off probably. So, but like you, I have no emotional, like, I've seen all the Star Wars films and I love Revenge of the Sith. It's one of my favorite Star Wars films. It's like top 3 for me. So I love that film. But I just like really have no emotional connection to Cody whatsoever. Like, I think the figure looks so good, but like, that's why I've just been battling in my mind about whether I should get it because I probably won't. Like, it's the same with Krennic, honestly. Like, I like Rogue One a lot, but I really have no emotional connection to Krennic, and like, I didn't get him, even though I knew he would go up in value.
Right. You know what? I feel like if for me to be able to pull the trigger on something that I have no emotional connection, Jared has a good point here. The golden armor Wonder Woman looks like a terrific figure.
Yeah, it does.
The head sculpt is on point. I mean, it's a bit expensive though at $300, or
because the wings are so big.
It's like $360, I think.
And it's rooted hair. Looks good too.
Rooted hair. I guess for the most part, like I gotta get something that I love, at least the movie, or
Right.
I like. But if I'm gonna go out of my way to get a Cody, for example, it has to have I have like a check mark. How many accessories? Uh,
Mhm.
is the head sculpt good? What's the value of it? Because I first and foremost, I don't like you, or like I
Right.
have no emotional attachment to you.
Right.
So somebody like I did that with Cody, which I wasn't wrong. I think he's gonna go up in value. At the very least, I'll get my money back when the time comes where I don't appreciate the art of the figure anymore.
Right.
I did that with the X-15, the Jack Sparrow, which I'm not a big fan of pirates.
Oh, see, I am. So I have that figure.
I like the movie, it's watchable, but I was just like, man, this Jack Sparrow is so good.
It's so
From,
good.
from the base to the purse, it has 2 head sculpt. It was 270, so I was just, all right, man, I
Because the
got
bases, yeah.
just the base itself, and then the combination of rooted hair plus plastic hair and all that. So I was like, all right, so I would appreciate that kind of figure. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get that. But so we're talking about like good figures in a movie that you don't like so much. Have you ever had a movie that you love or a game that you love, and there's a figure, but it's not that good? So you'll be like, oh man, love it so much, but this is crap.
Oh, literally. So I wouldn't say crap. Like, you know how I think I just sent you recently optical. The company's called like Mama Gamora or something like that. I'm butchering the hell out of that name, but they're releasing a Joel and Ellie 1/9 scale figure set.
Yeah.
I don't feel like those figures are absolutely incredible. I feel like they look pretty good, but for $350 for 1/9 scale figures, like the only reason I'm really getting those is because it's Joel and Ellie. Like that's literally it, because they are my favorite characters. Like that's my favorite piece of entertainment story ever, game, movie, whatever. Last of Us. So that's why I can go on a rant about Last of Us too. But like I will get those, and I fall back and forth on it, and I will get those because I love those characters so much. I don't feel like they look like shit, but like I do feel like they're not like incredible, but they're those characters, and I don't get a ton of representation of them in other things that I can get.
Yeah.
So.
For $30, that's not cheap,
No, and I do kind of justify it as you're getting 2 for $350,
Right.
so it's still like $175 a piece. So,
Yeah.
and the bases are cool, so I think it looks cool. But yeah, like I don't know, that's a really good question. Like a figure that doesn't look that great, but I'll still end up getting like.
You just love the movie so much, for example.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
it. I get this, even though it looks like shit.
Right. Well, and honestly, like I loved Game of Thrones except season 8. I hated season 8. So like I did not like season 8 at all, but I loved the first 7 seasons. And there are Game of Thrones figures like, but I actually really like those. Like the Night King I got from 3-0. That figure is really, really good. The White Walker I got for like $80 somehow. And that's really, dude, it was on Amazon. It just kept dropping. I was monitoring it and dropping and dropping. I got it for like $80 shipped. And I was like, hell yeah, it looks really good. And I got Drogon too, actually. 3-0 Drogons. That thing's huge. But that figure looks really good too. So I feel like, yeah, it's hard to say. Like I generally don't get, even if I love the figure, like if it looks really bad, like if I'm like, man, I would not want to look at this on my shelf. Even if I love the character, I won't get it. I won't get that.
For me, it's like it's not as bad, but like whenever you go to Hot Toys and you've seen things, anything like kind of below that, I dabbled in third party too, because sometimes they're just not gonna make something, and then sometimes I want a representation of that movie. For example, it's not too popular, Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
love that movie, and Hot Toys is never ever gonna make that ever. So I got the third party. It's not as good, but again, I paid $110, so it's not that bad. But recently, for example, Asmus, the Aragorn, love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
do too.
$190, but I did get the deluxe version, so I paid $260, $275, something like that. Hey, it's Hot Toys money that could have went to a Hot Toys, which you will get a better figure.
That's a good point.
But at the same time, it's like, man, I gotta get Aragorn. I gotta have an Aragorn in my collection. So
then you just gotta go Prime 1. See, I'm like PJ now.
$1,300. So that's
right.
Different.
Right. It is, man, because I'm looking at the Prime 1 Sauron right now. So it's expensive as hell, and I'm gonna be broke. But I need a Lord of the Rings something. I do. Are you getting the Crown Series Gandalf?
I have that on pre-order. Yes.
Yeah, me too. Because I think it's sold out on pre-order now. At least I remember. But that King Dingaling, I love the name, by the way, and I love the avatar, like I said earlier. But that he makes a really good point with that comment. I love the John Wick with Hot Toys. I actually got the Max Nut head sculpt for John Wick, and it looks way better. Like I agree, the figure is really good, but the head sculpt is not
Right.
like it's not Hot Toys quality, to be honest. Like it
Like
doesn't. Yeah, it looks like kind of who it is, but it really looks like 60% of Keanu. Like it's like not, and the Max Nut is definitely a lot closer. It's probably like 80-85%. So
right.
I like it a lot better.
The only thing I would say on the Max Nut is the beard paint application is maybe not as refined as Hot
Right.
Toys,
Right.
but the sculpt itself, like the shape of the face, the,
Mm-hmm.
chin. So King Dingaling, I would say look at Max Nut. That's a good point with King Dingaling, because the thing too with the thing is that with John Wick, they might do him again because there's 2 more movies coming out.
Yeah,
But then
I
again,
hope
how many
so.
variations are you gonna do with a guy wearing a black suit though? With
Right.
like guns. Like you can do John Wick 3. Maybe they can improve the head sculpt.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Hot Toys here, who just made up another rank for a short trooper. So
Right. I'm not sure they do another John Wick because they only did one Neo, So I don't know. I would love them to do another John Wick because I'd love to see them take another crack at that sculpt. And I think they could do better the second time around, but I don't think they will. So
Matrix 4. I mean,
that could, you might get another Neo then.
True. But like the Matrix 1 is kind of like that. Even that Neo from Matrix 1, like the Hot Toys version, it's not quite there.
A lot of people think it's really good.
You put the glasses on. I mean, it looks great.
Yeah, with the glasses.
You kind of like, all right, I see it. Kind of like you're kind of convincing yourself because you spent like $240. You're kind of like, yeah, I see it. I see it.
It's there. I sold mine. I sold it for I made a little bit of money on it, but not too much. But yeah, I had it and I felt the same way. I liked the Matrix a lot and I liked that figure, but it was one sometimes I have figures and I like them and I look at them and I'm like, that's pretty good, but I want great. You know what I mean? So I want great, and I will trade out figures from here and there. I'll sell certain ones that I feel like I've kind of fallen out of love with. You know what I mean?
Right. So what is your requirement of one going out, one coming in? I'm like your Loki staying because you love the character. Is that has to be a requirement for you? Kind of like, man, I gotta love this character / movie. And,
that's a really good question. And sometimes no. Sometimes 99% of the time, yes. But sometimes there's a figure that has a really cool look. For example, I bought the Sith Trooper, right? I love Rise of Skywalker, but I have no real connection to the Sith Trooper. But I see that figure and I'm like, man, I love this armor. I think it looks really cool with the red. So I bought it and I got it for pretty cheap. I got it for under $200. So I will, because people don't want sequel figures. So except for me, I buy them all and no one else wants them. So yeah. So I have Phasma. I got her for $100. And dude. Finn, I got for 115. I have all those and no one wants them.
Were you there when BBTS was practically giving them away?
Yeah, they're giving me a $200 gift card to buy it. They're like, please buy this.
Finn back then, I think he came out to around $70 when I bought him.
Right. So, it's a great figure though. It's really good sculpt, and they're not going to make another Finn. So
I mean, at worst, use the body. I mean, a legit Hot Toys body is what and the aftermarket is $80. If you really hated the figure or the movie,
just sell the accessories. Yeah, sell the Graflex saber, and then
right.
So,
so for figures like that or statues, do you have a price point where kind of Cody is cool? I mean, had Cody been I know you're playing around the idea of getting him
right.
I mean, his price decent. It's $240, 2 head sculpt, tons of guns. But let's just say he's $300. Would that even play in your head?
It would. Yeah, if he were $300, it'd be a total no go. But basically, what'll happen is, and Sideshow knows that they can get me and other people. That's why they do it. When Sideshow sends you a $25 coupon, a promo code, and then that's when you're like, okay, I'm gonna go shopping. You know what I mean? And they know you're gonna do that, and that's why they do it. So. Because they'll get someone like me who's not going to buy Cody probably without that, and then I get that, and I'm like, I'm going to buy Cody now. So
convincing yourself, it's free shipping now.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Basically, got free shipping, the tax and shipping. So yeah. So man, I miss the days when Sideshow didn't charge tax. I miss that. So
now your reward points is just tax.
Right.
Basically, it kind of makes up for that because I think tax 10% so far. It's 6, but still.
And that's why in Big Bad charges tax too, but the shipping's cheaper, so that's good.
Cheaper, it's $4. That with Big Bad, the key with Hot Toys, I mean with Sideshow is the kind of you get more for your next purchase.
Mm-hmm.
With Big Bad, it's kind of you pay less now and you don't have to purchase later,
right?
Because that's kind of the key with Sideshow. And it's funny. I'm not going to mention names because I was watching tips and tricks and all that stuff. And I was
Mhm.
like, God damn it, it's like a promotional video, kind
Right.
of, like, well, it's like if you're really trying to help somebody out, like somebody new, you kind of explain to them, not direct them to a website that's based in Hong Kong or somebody who's just overcharging, even
Right.
if you put a code. Kind of like you kind of explain it. Was like, all right, Sideshow was made so you can buy more and more from them. Because once you buy one, you're gonna wait till reward points, kind of like it's gonna ripe itself in 40 days. Now you're gonna have to use that, and then the $25. But this is like a non-ending cycle. At some point, you might stop because those
Right.
now are gonna expire, and those $25 is gonna expire.
Right.
With bad, it's kind of like, okay, I want it now. I'll save $16 now. I don't have to, use the reward points for my next purchase. But like I, I saw those and I was just like, kind of like, oh man, this is kind of like misleading and stuff. So
Right. I get what you mean. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I really wish they had that. But it's funny, like, so this, like we said, this is the trade-off, right? Like you can buy from not Sideshow, like maybe a Comic Concepts. I've actually bought from Alter Ego Comics. I've always had really good experiences. And they don't charge shipping. They don't charge tax, rather. And a lot of their figures are free shipping. So you're saving like probably $30 from buying from them, right?
right.
So, and that's great, but they do get them a little bit later than Sideshow. And if you have an issue, they'll help you out and they'll get sorted out, but it's going to take more time. Like, because they have to go through Sideshow and then get it back to you. A lot of times you have to ship them the part, they ship it to Sideshow or bring it up to them, then they get the part back, they ship it to you. It takes time. If you talk to Sideshow, it's like, hey, destroy it and we'll send you another one. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's so much faster.
Like if you're gonna give a tip to someone, like give them something like, hey man, if you're buying Iron Man, a lot of things could go wrong with an Iron Man, buy it at Sideshow.
Right.
Because guess what? You don't have to ship the entire figure. If one of the lights on the armor is not working, they ship it back to you. That's why you watch review, because you gotta know what the shortcomings of a figure is. You don't say like, it's like, oh man, if you want day one, it's like, why would anyone unless you really love the figure and willing to risk it,
right?
Overpay $80 to,
because sometimes, so here's the thing where I will go with day one figures. I don't do it very often, but sometimes I will, because like if the price is basically the same, then like I will take my chances. So like, and sometimes it will go wrong, like with Mando for me for Toys Wonderland. But like, for example, with Tim Sent, I have a pre-order in for the Rise of Skywalker Kylo Ren first batch, and it was like $250 shipped, right? That's like what I would pay, if not more, from Sideshow. So like, and I could get it 2 months earlier. And I love Kylo Ren. He's like probably my second favorite character, or first maybe. So like, I will have every Kylo because I love Kylo. So that's a figure where I wouldn't pre-order first batch of just any figure just because the price is good. But for Kylo or Loki, for example, I would. So, that's an example where I would pre-order day one and take the risk and just hope it works out. But it also could go terribly. So,
I would probably buy the what do you call this heavy Mando. There's no light up functionality. What could go wrong with a heavy Mando, right? There's really not much.
It has weathering anyway. I mean, if there's a scratch here and there, it's not the end of the world.
He would barely move around, so there's not a whole lot of articulation thing that's going to happen to him. So go ahead, purchase that in Hong Kong if you want to. If you're really excited, I mean, you got to do what you got to do with your money. If you're excited, go ahead and do it. But like something like 85, where if the head sculpt comes in, what you're gonna do? Like if you want the new head sculpt, you're gonna contact Toys Wonderland,
right?
And send it to you. Well, good luck with that,
right?
Like
it's not as good as Sideshow for sure,
right? And like sometimes you go to eBay, you those are, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it comes with, because if you're just buying day one, for example, so you don't have experience of like, I think that's the part of the fun of like doing collectibles as well, as you go out, try to hunt for these figures, and then you buy something for something lower.
Right.
Now you learn from those, or you're gonna deal with it in a group. Now you got to know which one could go wrong. The tip of the nose. If you're buying from a group, ask for the picture from the tip of the nose, because sometimes it rubs off. Those are.
It's happened to me.
Yeah, so the kind of things that you might overlook, but I don't know, man.
It's happened to me. So So like, and for example, like I bought the Iron Studios quarter scale Thanos from Endgame, right? Mm-hmm. And, I just talked about how he's more compelling in Infinity War, but I love his armored look. So I love that armored look. So I got that version because he has the light up gauntlet still, which isn't accurate to the film, and he has the sword and it looks so good in statue form. So I have that and I love it. Like the original sculpt came on like his cheek. He had like a paint scratch, and I messaged Sideshow and they were like, okay, destroy it. We're sending you another one. Like that's a $1,200 statue. And they did that for me. Like that wouldn't get that if I had bought it off eBay, for example, or I bought it from Toys Wonderland or something like that. Like, you know, they might have tried to do that, but Sideshow is just like clutch with that stuff. So like, as much as I don't like, I do think they overcharge for shipping a little bit. And I do feel like I don't like the tax thing, but that's not their fault. And you know, it's just, you know, but overall, like you pay for security.
Right.
So,
you know, like you got that, you got Big Bad. These are like larger companies in here. I mean, if you really had the itch to go to Hong Kong, go ahead, but you gotta know which one you're ordering and what could go wrong. You gotta think of the worst case scenario. I guess this is a part of my job. I always think of what's the best case scenario and worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is like you lose a figure and $300.
Right.
like
and,
what happened to you.
Yeah, like what happened to me. And like I said, with Tim Cent, I have had pretty good experiences. So like I've gotten some boxes from Tim Cent. Those things are well packed, man. I don't like those boxes arrive pristine. Like, and he packs them well, like probably even better than Sideshow does. And same with Comic Concepts, for example, because he double boxes his. So like I really like that. Sideshow doesn't do that. They just ship it in the shipper and then it's off. But like, and it usually arrives pretty good. I've never really had any issues. The box might have a little dent here and there, but that's not the end of the world for me. As long as the figure's fine, I'm okay.
Dude, that's, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things could go wrong. I mean, these are hundreds of dollars of figures that we basically spend money on, and as much as you want it perfect, sometimes they're not, but you want that peace of mind that, you know, if it's not, then
you got security.
Yeah, you can rectify what the issue is, whether you buy it on eBay. But there are certain things that I wouldn't buy on eBay. Like I would buy, I bought some stuff on eBay, but not Iron Man. You know, a lot of things can go wrong in an Iron Man. You know?
Yeah, because one figure I was telling PJ, like one figure I really want that obviously came out before I started collecting is the DX13. So the Terminator Battle Damage Arnold. Like that figure is incredible and I want it, but it's so expensive now. And like I'm a little afraid of getting peeling parts or maybe the head sculpt like not working or something or being scratched. Like it's hard to find one that's in good condition that's not like $1 million. So it's like, and that's one that I don't think they would reissue that. So it's like,
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I would love it, but like because it's so popular, and it would be amazing if DX20 was reissued Terminator. I'd be like, I'm fine with that. I was hoping for Joker, but I would love this. But that's one, for example, I do really want, and I probably will eventually buy it from someone, maybe off eBay if I have to.
Damn it! I should have known. We should have talked like a month ago. I just sold mine. Like I sold two, the DX13.
Oh my god, I would have bought it.
Police shootout version, because I do live in Chicago where we don't have humidity. So I'm lucky enough not to get, you know, the flaking. I like you. These are the tips that you would love to have. You know, like, okay, watch for the flaking, watch the belt. You know, watch the eyes, the belt, tip of the nose, the back, because they're normally if something's kept in the box and they'll be like, oh, it's mint in sealed box. It doesn't mean it's in good condition, because you know what if this person is living in Florida and he hasn't opened his figure? So when you open it, guess what? The leather is going to deteriorate right in front of your very eyes. You know, like those predators where they have this, you know, leather things. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things could go wrong in Hot Toys. We all know their quality control issue here, but you know. And
I live in Maryland, so it is humid here, but I keep my figures all in like behind glass, climate controlled, and you know. I try to be as good to them as I possibly can, and I don't touch them any more than I have to. It's not like I don't like repose a lot. You know what I mean? Like I repose sometimes, but like I normally, like once I get the figure, I could spend like an hour that night or maybe even more getting into the pose I want. And sometimes I might come back to it the next day or something and be like, I want to change something just a little bit. And then I get them in a pose I really like and I just leave it.
Right. Oh,
I don't pose them a lot, really.
By the way, you do sell, right? Will, every once in a while, figures?
Yeah, I'll sell figures every now and then. And I always offer them for good prices, you know, when I can. Like basically I'll just, you know, a lot of times I offer them below market value because when I sell something, I usually want to sell it fast because I don't want to deal with it for long. And yeah, I will sometimes.
Where do you sell? Like, is it on eBay or groups?
Sometimes I start with Facebook because I hate the eBay fees of 10%. So like, and also selling on eBay can be really scary sometimes because the buyer is always right, and like even if they're not, so and you could totally get screwed. So I haven't had that happen to me yet, luckily, fingers crossed. But you know, I will start with Facebook, and if I can sell there, I'll go there. But sometimes it doesn't always work, so then I go to eBay, and usually it will sell pretty quickly.
Yeah, I know King Dingaling is from Chicago. King Dingaling, I'm telling you, man, I'm in Chicago as well. Craigslist and what do you call that?
Mercari.
No, Offer Up.
Oh yeah. Mercari is good too.
There, and I can sell pretty easily, I would say. So try local first, because they're in front of you, so you can be like, all right, open a figure, man. play around with
Right.
it, look at the joints, and see what happens. And if once I leave now, it's gone. Just
Man,
like,
you should not have told me. I totally would have bought your DX13. I totally, because now I'm so pissed because I'm like, damn it, I had one right in my grasp because I
I
love Arnie and I love T2.
oh man, those are one of the films. Honestly, we're talking about films earlier. That even if you show it now, not even the graphics are okay. I mean, it can still hold up to this day. I
Dude,
feel
it's so good. It's so good.
I,
It
I
holds. There's like some things here and there, but like
yeah.
overall, it holds up really well for a '91 film.
Even the graphics that they have, like I said, because I rewatched RoboCop and I loved that
Mm,
movie when I was young. It's hard to watch it as an adult now and seeing
mm.
like the acting and I love that movie. Don't get me wrong, but like kind of like seeing it in the lens of an adult, kind of like, God damn. I was like, all right,
Yep.
it's still a classic, but yeah,
Right. And T2, man, like I was always under the impression from what I heard, they like invented CGI technology to make that film. Like it was like way ahead of its time. And like I did a review. Sometimes like doing movie reviews, you get a lot of like people who really like a film. And if you don't like it, then you're a dumbass. You don't know anything. So
yeah.
like that's basically what'll happen. So like I reviewed a film called Event Horizon, which I really did not like at all. And people were saying the CGI wasn't that bad. It was made in like 97. And it came out 6 years after T2, and it looks far, far worse than T2 did. So, like, and I'm like, guys, they were like, well, it was 1997. I'm like, but look at T2 in 91. It looks incredible. I'm like, so, I mean, you can't always use that excuse.
Which one, if there's any TV show or movie that you want to be made as either a statue or a Hot Toys that
Hmm.
you don't think it's going to be made?
Last of Us, yeah, like definitely, yeah. Like if I got, because I have the CC toys, Joel and Ellie, and they're really good. They're good, but
Mhm.
like, and now they're pretty expensive because people. I almost bought 2 sets, and I probably should have, but
Right.
like, because I love those characters. If Hot Toys, because the HBO show, it's possible maybe Hot Toys would pick that up, but even if it's really popular, I'm not sure they would. But
Right. I don't think so.
and that's a whole other topic. I'm worried about that show, but I hope it's good.
Right.
But basically, yeah, I would love that. I would also love. You know how Prime One made a T1 Arnold?
Mhm.
Like they made a half scale T1 Arnold. It looks incredible, and I've almost thought about buying it a million times. I like T1, but I would much prefer having a T2 Arnold. Like if they made a T2 Arnold in half scale or third scale, whatever, I would buy it so fast. Like that's one of my favorite movies of all time, and Arnold's probably my favorite actor maybe ever. So
That's our action hero back then. Him,
yeah,
Stallone. Now
he
we
is
got,
the guy. Yeah.
now we got
Even
Vin
in Jingle All the Way, he was still good.
Hey,
So, Kindergarten Cop.
it's pretty
So,
badass.
what about you? Is there any like show or movie you want to
For
see?
TV show, I would say they wouldn't make Dexter ever, but
No, that'd be cool.
I would love a season 1 Dexter.
Mm.
That would be nice. That would swap up, things and all that stuff. As far as movies, I mean, I got the what do you call this? My Shawshank in here. I
Right,
love
right.
the movie. But yeah, I would say Dexter. Something like that.
Dexter would be good. There's so many video game characters that I would love to see Hot Toys make, and I'm
Right.
not sure they would. Like, like the Final Fantasy VII characters. Like,
Right.
I would love to see a Sephiroth and a Cloud. So never gonna happen. And I would also love to see a Delsin Rowe from Infamous Second Son, which is one of my favorite games also. So, and I would say God of War, but Prime One's making those, and I'm getting both of those. So
Dude,
I'm good
speaking
with
of
that.
God of War, I discovered they have a 1/6 of that in Mondo. I'll let you guys know how it looks like because I got that.
Are you getting it?
Yep, I'm getting it. The Mondo 1/6 Kratos. I'm gonna buy anything God of War. Just saying.
It's such a good game. I saw that figure and I was kind of so on it. So let me know what you think.
Yeah. I got it, so it's probably gonna be here like in a couple of weeks or so. So we'll see. I mean, the price tag is okay. It's 220. It's not hot-ish, but I just recently discovered Mondo. I didn't know that they're in the game. I thought they were just like kinda
Right.
like doing whatever. But they got some animated series, Batman, Half-Life, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Looks pretty decent. Just like all right.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. They do some good stuff. The Kratos though, but man, when you look at those Prime One God of War statues, tell me those things are not badass. Like, and it's funny, man. A lot of the Prime One collectors I've seen, like, they're not getting Baldur. They're just getting Kratos and Atreus. And I'm like, guys, I love Baldur. I thought he was great.
That's the guy from the last scene, right? Where he fought him, the guy with a lot
Yep.
of tattoos and
Yep,
whatnot.
exactly. He shows up in the beginning of the game too. Like,
Yeah.
he fights him then too. He's like the main villain of that game.
Mhm.
And he doesn't make it, obviously. So, but I think he still might find a way back. But Thor is going to be the next villain. So people are just waiting to get Thor when Prime One makes that. That'd be great too.
They did, I mean, as far as Mando, I was just, dude, you gotta make Atreus, man.
Right. Because the Prime 1 is statue, Kratos and Atreus come together, which is like kind of essential. So like those two got to be together. And then Baldur's separate, but it's like a diorama and you can put them together and they're like fighting each other. It looks so good, man. I can't wait to get them.
Dude. So let me ask you though, so video game or if you like, what are your, like, if you have to base your passion about collection, would you rather have are you more consuming video game or movies more, for example?
Probably movies more, but
Movies
like
more?
it's funny, like video games, I feel like I have almost like a bigger connection to, in terms of like my emotional connection to that story and the characters, because you're playing it and you're living it, you know what I mean? So it's like The Last of Us or Infamous or, you know, or Final Fantasy 7 or God of War or Ghost of Tsushima, which, dude, when Prime 1 announced that Jin Sakai, I almost like cried. I was like, this is amazing, because I love that game, man. I love that game so much. And I knew they had teased them before, but when they announced it, I pre-ordered it like I couldn't wait for it to go up. I was like, I got to pre-order this, because like I love that character and love that game. So, and yeah, like basically that's one, like I feel like I have more emotional connection, but like there are a lot of movies where I do love, you know, the characters and like, you know, have a big emotional connection to them too. So movies I probably digest a little bit more, but games, like I spend more time with them and I'm like living them, so to speak. So like I feel like I have like a deeper connection to them.
Right. Because I still remember the first time I played Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation 1. And,
Right.
you know, kind of like the Metal Gear Solid, my first experience. And I still want a Metal Gear 1 figure from Hot Toys. Hot Toys, if you're listening.
Please.
Or even MGS5, you know, where he's it's not the best game ever, but you know, they teased that before. Obviously it's not going to happen now, but yeah, I feel like on video games you kind of like spend more time, but movies is so easy to digest. You know, it's 2 hours there, and you know, you're done.
Yeah, and video games are like 20. Like I don't know if I've told you, man. Like it was funny. Like when I first played The Last of Us for the first time, it was like I got the remastered version. Like I didn't play the PS3 version. I played it on PS4. And I remember it was getting remastered, and I was like, I heard people say it was really good and this and that, but I never like, you know, really knew much about it. And I heard it was getting remastered, and I was like, I don't know, man. I knew it came out that day, and I was like, I might get it, I might not. And then I was like, I decided I wasn't going to get it, and then it came out the day, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to Target. I'm going to get it. And I got it, and I played it, and I was like, dude, like this is, and like it honestly takes a little while. Like it's funny, like that's a little bit of a slow burn game. Like really once Ellie comes in the picture, that's when it starts getting really, really good. And then like I started playing it, and then when I finished it, you know how it feels when you finish that game. You have like this empty feeling in your stomach. You have like this, it feels like I went on this crazy journey, and I'm like, this is like, I don't know what to do now. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I've never had that much of an emotional reaction to a story. And I was like, man, I feel like I don't know what to do. I got to play it again. I was like,
peaks and valleys that you went through. You feel like it's part of the journey. I know it's a kind of like a slow burn, especially when Joel was riding with, I forgot her name.
Tess, yeah.
Yeah. But isn't that the best 10 minutes of any game ever? When Joel, like with her daughter.
Yeah, dude, that opening, that is the opening. Like that is like,
happened, I was just like, this is the best game. I mean, the first 10 minutes when I was playing, it was like
so well acted.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Imagine what that's going to be like in the show. Yeah. Like in the show, that's probably going to be the first episode of the show. So that's going to be crazy to watch. And I think a lot of people who don't know about the game are going to see that and be like, what the hell? For
anyone who hasn't played it, do yourself a favor. It's like 20, I think it's like $10 nowadays, the version. Go pick it up. If that's the only game that you would ever play in your life, that would be. Yeah.
That's the game. Last of Us is the game. Like, and it's funny, like if you're viewing it like as a game, like some of the AI isn't perfect, you know what I mean? Like but if you're viewing it as a story, like the story is perfect. Like it is like, and the characters are perfect. So that's what I most value in games. Like I love narrative driven games. So like I don't play like things like I have played like Battlefront 2 and stuff and Overwatch and stuff like that, but it's not really for me. Like I really like single player, like Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead 2, like God of War. Like I love those story games that I can immerse myself into with the characters.
Jesus Christ. I just read this. Like apparently JB has Scarlet Spider in that box of $500. So
oh my God. So $500 Scarlet Spider. And then what was else in there?
It's with Scarlet Spider and the as far as I know, JB, let us know. As far as
the Concept 46,
yeah, 46. That is like $500 by itself. Already those two. So
I'm so jealous. I would pay that.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean,
And if you don't want them, just sell them. So I mean, you
yeah,
made a profit. So
I mean, Scarlet Spider for $42. I mean, you know what, JB, I'm feeling generous right now. I'll give you double of that.
yeah, double.
Give you
Yeah.
84.
Yeah, $84. That's a good deal. It's the best deal you're gonna get. So might as well take it. So
Give you 84 for that.
but yet, isn't it great when you like get a figure like that and you get such a steal of a deal? Like I said, I got Phasma for like $100. Like I got a White Walker for 80. That's when I'm like, damn, this is awesome. So
Yeah, I mean, if anyone here listening, if somebody offers you a Hot Toys for 120, if you're kind of iffy about it, don't be. Just get
Right.
it, especially if it's if it's complete. Because like I
Right.
said, worst case scenario, you use the body. I mean, if you're doing customizing something instead of buying a cheap body, you get it. And worst case scenario, you sell it for how much you paid it for. I mean, these are the things where you don't even think about it. Kind of like somebody offers you, was like, hey man, do you want to buy Phasma for 100? And you'll be like, I don't even like this movie, man.
But the thing is, I do, and I do like her character. So I was like, hell yeah.
I bought Phasma too. I'm not gonna lie, but
Did you? I think she looks good. And it's another group of figures that people hate that I really like, the Chitauri. So the Chitauri, like they are, like I think I got them both from Pop Culture, like both of them shipped for like $130. Like, and I got the set, Commander and the Foot Soldier, and I was like, and I love Avengers 1. So that's a film like I love the Chitauri because they're a big part of that film, and that's one of my favorite movies. So like I got them both, and I still have them, and I wouldn't sell them because I really like them, and I got them for so cheap. That's like $70 a figure.
They're like stormtroopers of Avengers, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have a lot of them, it's nice to army build. The only reason I sold them is because I was getting to a point where it's getting ridiculous. So I was like, so it's now even not the money, it's the space.
Right.
So I was like, all right, somebody has to go, and
it's got to be you.
It's you, buddy.
Right, exactly, and that's how it goes. Yeah, sometimes space is king.
If they appeared on Endgame, alongside the Outriders, I wouldn't have sold them. But Thanos is rolling with because isn't like the Chitauris with Loki, but also a part of Thanos in the first Avengers, right?
I think they're in Endgame though. They're there.
Endgame?
Yeah, they're there. They're there. It's with them. Their Chitauri are there, but you don't see them as much. But you are seeing mostly Outriders, but the Chitauri are there. I'm pretty sure.
God damn it! I just sold my Chitauri too.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So good, right next to Thanos. If you have the Thanos,
so they are there, but you could probably get them for really cheap again if you wanted to. They're still on Sideshow actually. Like they just pop back up randomly, but
it's been like 4 or 5 years, right?
Right, and like they'll be like, "Hey, we'll give you like $30 off," and like still no one's buying them. So, if you give me like $100 off, I'll do it. But like that's about it. So Sideshow's not going to do that. They did it with the Stormtroopers though. Remember you saw that like First Order Troopers? There's like a Snow Trooper set, and it was like $100 coupon or something. I was like, I've never seen that before.
But they couldn't beat like Big Bad though, because Big Bad back then those dual pack Stormtroopers, they're selling them for retail for $387. It was $387, but you get $250 back of like credit. So a 2-pack would come out to like $130, which is insane. I mean, you got to fork out $387 grand, But I mean, if you're gonna pre-order, I was telling this to my friend because they were selling the Bat before from the Dark Knight for like for retail $500, I think. But you get $350 back, and I was just, dude, the Bat is $150. I was like, yeah, but you got to take out $500. I was like, is this the last Hot Toys you're ever gonna buy?
Right.
If not, you can use that store credit for something else. like literally, that is gonna be like, all right, when I get the Bat, I'm done. And I was just like,
exactly, and that's it. Some people are like that, but it's like a potato chip. You never eat just one, so you never buy with just one Hot Toy. Because trust me, I bought one Hot Toy a couple years ago. It was Kylo Ren, The Force Awakens. I said, okay, this will be my only one. And then after that, I was like, now I got Infinity War Thor on pre-order. Like, so it's like, and then from there, it just spiraled out of control. And here we are.
That's what I said to myself. And this would be a good topic next time. It would be like how we started and like how it got, because whenever it's scary when you're starting at Hot Toys, because the price would jar you initially. If you're not used to buying toys for $200, you'll be like, this is insane. Why would a grown man?
You have to get yourself conditioned to it. Yeah.
We're so conditioned now that on my preview for the Trooper, I was just like, this is going to be $300 because I'm like a battered wife now. I'm so used to high prices.
Right.
60 was kind of like, oh my God, this is a steal.
Hot Toys got us conditioned.
Yeah, they brainwashed us to kind of like, hey man, this is going to be $300 because it's a robot and it's pretty big. And I'll be like, oh, $300. So now when their price is at $260, I was like, damn, I got to get two.
Right.
it too, because it's like it's a trooper. But then again, at the end of the day, you think about it's a plastic that they never paid a likeness for, because it
Right.
was.
So that's a win for them. And that's kind of why probably we're getting a lot of troopers. But another good deal I want to brag on that I scored. This was actually on Reddit. So if you check the Reddit Hot Toys, they have some sale. They have like a sale post and people post things. You know, like I said, I love Kylo. Force Awakens Kylo is my favorite. I nagged him. I got 2 of him because I had one already. And I nagged this one, grabbed this one for like, I think it was $90 shipped. So like, and he was loose. He didn't come with the box, but he came with everything else. He got the accessories, and I was like, I'll take it. And he actually had a first order like trooper, like an officer, and I almost bought that. Dude, I absolutely should have. Like, I should have just bought that one too for $90. He said he was going to give me $90 for both each, like, so 180 shipped. And I ended up paying just 90 for Kylo. I think he was selling a Ray too, and he sold that to someone else. But I probably should have bought that too. Honestly, $90, man.
Here's what I would say though, because Mandalorian is in between the sequel and the original trilogy. I'm telling you guys, if you see a cheap first order stormtrooper, buy it. Buy it cheap, I mean like $100 to $120, maybe not go over $135, maybe.
Right.
The moment Mandalorian shows up and you see a first order stormtrooper,
right. I'm looking for a first order trooper. I don't have one, but I need one.
Because he might go into that world, he might be the bridge between the two, and in that distant future. And the moment he sees one, I'm telling you, it's kind of like the Remnant Trooper. Remnant people were like, "Oh man, why do you want a Remnant Trooper? This is just
right."
Now the moment Mandalorian kicks ass with some of the first order stormtrooper, now people are going to be like, "Oh man, I need a first order stormtrooper."
Right, exactly. And hopefully, because Mando would probably be old at that point, because I think this is like, isn't like 30 years maybe before the first order comes into play. Hey, so it's like something like that, but
like Boba just showed up, and
that's true. Maybe they could do a flash forward event or something, and it's something maybe not Mando or an older Mando or something, and who knows. But
I mean, the moment they showed up in something, I'm telling you, I mean, not 130. I'm not saying army build one, but at least have 1 or 2, especially if they're 120. I mean,
right. Exactly. Yeah, like that's what I'm like trying to get a first order trooper at some point. I want to spend like 100 to 115. Like I want to, because I want one, but I don't want to overpay for one.
Right. Being that nice price point where you're not going to kick yourself. It's like, God damn, why did I buy this?
Right.
Should have not listened to Optical. He never showed up. He's like, I'm not saying he's going to show up. Just maybe.
Yeah, because like, and the thing is, like, what I'm looking at is eventually, like you said, we all run out of space at some point, and then like you'll look at that figure and be like, well, someone's got to go, and it's you. You know what I mean? Like, I try to get rid of those figures before I get to that point, because I'm like, I was like, this is a figure that I'm probably going to sell eventually. You know what I mean? Like, so I might as well just pull the Band-Aid off now and then get something I want. So, like, I did that. Yeah.
Dude, if you get that first order stormtrooper for 115, and he still sucked, and no one would want him anyway. I mean, you can sell him for 90, and guess what? You lost $25. I mean,
right. And I had him in my collection for a while, so it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sold someone recently that I just kind of like fell out of love with, but I can't remember who it was. But Luke Skywalker from Crate. So from Last Jedi. And I really like that figure. It's good, but it was one that I was like, I don't feel like I really need that necessarily. You know what I mean? And it sold, I actually sold it above retail. It's gone up in value because it's like the best old Luke out there.
Right.
So I sold it above what I paid for it, and I was happy with that. But like, yeah, I mean, it's not one. It's one, for example, that I felt like I was like, I don't feel like I need that. I have one Luke. I have the Endor Luke, and I was like, I don't feel like I need an old Luke really.
Yeah, I got the old Luke, the deluxe one, the one with a bird. What do you call that bird?
The Porgs.
Whatever his name, they call him the Hobo Luke or something.
Hobo Luke, like, yeah, it's the one of him on the island with like the fishing stuff and
he was drinking the green milk,
the green
something.
Space milk.
So, so he's not too sought after because he's still a big bad, and they actually discounted him.
Oh, really? Okay.
As a figure, it doesn't look bad. I mean,
no, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, people just hates the movie, I suppose. So.
Does he come with a saber or no?
No, he does not. He doesn't.
Okay. See, that's kind of.
Does he? I don't know. I
don't remember. I remember Sideshow was offering a coupon on him too for a while. So.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. A Luke Skywalker figure that's not selling. So yeah. Oh, that's a good question,
dude. What's yours?
Oh my God. And this is like the question. This is like, if this is the ultimate collector question. Like, if you'd only keep one Hot Toys figure, what would it be? Man, if I could only keep one Hot Toys figure, and I'm looking at the poster right now, it's probably Avengers Loki. So
nice.
But it's probably gonna be the new Avengers Loki, which I don't have yet. So but the current Avengers Loki is my favorite. Like, I actually just got Empire Strikes Back Vader in, Dude, that figure blew me away. Like I unboxed it. I told some friends, I was like, this might be my new favorite figure. Like it was like, I'm actually thinking about buying a second one. Cause like I will do that for certain figures that I just am blown away with. So like I'll display them in different parts of my collection, you know? So, but that's one. OG Mando would also be up there. But Avengers Loki, and I also have Yondu. Yondu is really good. But I don't feel like I love that figure, but I don't feel like I have such an emotional connection to Yondu that I like, if I had to let him go, I would like be so distraught over it. Right. But like Loki, I would be like, yeah, like I got to keep Loki. And probably second would be either OG Mando or Empire Vader.
For me, it's always been DX11. I mean, if there's no DX, then it's not the Heath Ledger, because presumably that's the only Joker. I just love Heath Ledger's performance there.
It's the best.
That's made me go back to, Nolan made me go back to, like this entire thing, but that kind of started this entire thing for me, this DX11. Presuming that there's no DX20 that's going to be,
right.
I would just say the Heath Ledger Joker, the best Heath Ledger Joker would be my only one if I can just keep one.
Dude, honestly, I know we talked about the reissues before, but I would be super hype if they did a DX20 Joker, and I'm sure the head sculpt would look great. The quarter scale Joker head sculpt was like, it was good. It was good, but like, it's not like, you know how we've talked about it. I feel the same way. The Joker Heath Ledger performance is the best acting performance I have ever seen. Like, I have never seen a better one. I saw that film in theaters 4 times. I was like obsessed with it. So, and because of him. So that's why I have 3 1/3. I have Queen Studios Joker on pre-order. I have J&D Studios Joker on pre-order. I have the Queen Studios 1/3 Joker already in my house. And then I have the Prime Studios one, but I'm actually trying to cancel that. I'm trying to see if they'll let me switch my pre-order to Sauron, because I think I'm rather have the J&D and the Queen Studios, and I don't need 4 Heath Ledger Jokers. So right now I'm gonna have 4, so I need just 3 is fine. That's plenty. So, but that shows to show you how much I love the character.
Dude, I'm not even a huge Joker fan, but after Heath Ledger, I kind of had to jog back, because I think not the only joke, but the entire Nolan trilogy. I know the Dark Knight Rises gets a lot of just heat or whatever, because it's just not as good as the first 2.
No, it's good, but it's not as good as Dark Knight.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. It's just not as good as the first 2. But that Heath Ledger Joker performance, man, I mean.
You bring up a good point, because I have the Prime 1 Bane, and because I love Bane. I thought Bane was awesome. So like, I thought he was really cool. I hated how he went out, but like, but overall, like, I love the character. And that's one, like, for example, like trading up, like I had the Hot Toys Bane and I got him for a good deal. And then I had that and I liked that figure a lot. But then I realized there was the Prime 1 Bane that was coming out. And I was like, that statue is incredible. I was like, I feel like I love Bane so much, and if I pass on this, I'm going to regret it. So like, I sold the Hot Toys Bane and put it towards the Prime 1 Bane, because I was like, I don't feel like I need both, and I feel like the Prime 1, and I have him right here next to Joker, and dude, he's so good in person. Like, I reviewed that statue. He's on waitlist now, so he's not available, but he's worth every penny. He's amazing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, if they do a straight reissue of DX11, I'll probably be pissed. Kind of like, come on, man. I mean, you got to do some improvements. I mean, improve the head sculpt. Like, I think
they will.
Yeah, if they do because if they do that Loki just straight up from the old one, you're like, come on, man.
Right.
But they have a history, like Whiplash. That's 10 years of gap, and they basically released the same exact figure,
right?
With like minor paint improvements.
See, I like what they did with Two-Face though. Two-Face, they definitely made improvements.
Tailoring, but that's super old. Like Two-Face is 09, so the tailoring is kind of baggy. The paint application. It still sucks that they took out one of the head sculpts and one of the jacket, because I did have the original Two-Face, but I was like, all right, at least there's some improvement. Like, it looks better now. But with Whiplash, you can make the argument that you could have stick with the old one, honestly, because the old one has like minor weathering and all that stuff. Yes, it's a little bit improvement on the paint application, but overall, I don't know.
Right. I get what you mean. Yeah. So like, that's why I like a remake instead of a reissue. You know what I mean? Like an updated head sculpt, and the rest of the stuff is usually the same, but they'll update the head sculpt and improve upon it. Like Loki, like you said, Endgame Loki. Like, I think that's perfect. Like, they made the head sculpt better. They made the tailoring a little bit better. Like, and I think it's great. So, JB, what is Hot Optical 20? Do you think 300 for Hot Toys Stanley? Depends which Stanley, but I would say that's too high.
Yeah. I mean, JB, are you selling or you buying? Because if you're buying, I would say no.
Was that maybe the original Stanley? Like that one's really good, and that might be worth 300. But like the Guardians of the Galaxy Stan Lee, and then the one from Ragnarok, those are not worth 300. But the other original Stan Lee with him in the chair, I think that one might be.
Yeah, I mean, even if honestly, I wouldn't buy that for 300. But you know, I mean,
I wouldn't either, but I think a lot of people would.
dude, Andre says DX13 looks almost perfect in my collection.
Andre, sell it to me, please, because I need one so bad. I have the regular T2 Terminator, like the MMS 117 or something like that, and it looks really good. I like it. And I also have the Tech Noir version, so I really like that. But like, I need a DX13 so bad.
Oh, JB's buying with the chair. JB, I wouldn't, man. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't, just because it's just not. I mean, it's Stan Lee, I know, but there's other Stan Lees out there that it might be some face that you know, kind of, you just want a Stan Lee with your collection, but it would pass by. I would use that 300 with something else. Honestly, it's just me.
It's a tough call. Yeah, I mean, if you're a huge Marvel fan, I'm okay with it, but I wouldn't buy it myself. I wouldn't pay 300 for Stan Lee,
Right.
but I do really like him. I feel like it's just weird to put in your collection.
Right. If you can get it below retail, maybe, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get like a, you know, like Stan Lee for, well, not even at retail, but above retail. So
Yeah,
probably wouldn't do that.
yeah. But I see a lot of people who would, so I get both sides for sure. Like you said.
Cool. All right, man. So, well, it was nice chatting with you, man. We got to do this again sometime.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me as always, and you know, it's always fun to chat with you, of course.
Of course. And thank you for those who are, you know, keeping the chat going. Appreciate you guys. Always, you know, tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe to Willfoxification. I'll put in the link right there. If you like movies, collectibles too, he does a lot of reviews. Also, if you're trying to get into statue game, you got to ask him, but you don't listen to everything that he says because you're going to go in the dark path.
You will go down the dark side if you listen to what I say. So, you know, because I've fallen down the Prime One and other statue rabbit hole, Iron Studios, and it's not good.
Yeah, so. Good. But yeah, again, I appreciate you guys, Lane, JB, everything else in the chat. Paradox is still here, so thank you guys. So I don't forget to tune in tomorrow at Paradox Nerd at 8:15, I believe. But yeah, you don't.
I think it's 9, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are going to be there. So just check him out tomorrow and have a good night, everyone. Stay safe.
See you guys.